I mean, you go
What's
ahead.
going on, everybody?
You go ahead. I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
I know you guys sit here for and do your thing.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah. Anytime.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody cool. Just tuning in. Give a few moments. Let some other people come in. Mr. Waters. Mr. Waters. That's right. Mr. Waters. Yeah. What's going on, Dietrich? What's going on? Quincy, what's good, man? Reggie, everything's good, man. How y'all doing today? I got a brother from Texas that's gonna be coming on shortly. He want to tell the story. I've been talking to him for a while. Uh, there's quite a few people from Texas, man. That got a story about getting screwed by these baby mama tests in the system. That's why I say California, New York, and Texas, even Michigan, man. I think them the meccas of screw dads. I hear too many stories about that out them states.
Can I come over there?
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, sure. Hold on a minute. Oh, this is my hat, man. I got it made, man. Um, I'm working on that too, as we speak. Deidre say from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, see, baby mama tears up and move. That's what they do.
In the shade?
Yep, they don't. California. Yep. Chuck White from Chi Town. That's what's up. Chi Town representative. Quincy from Philly. Shout out to Philly, man. Let me text your brother see if he coming on. Steven, you from Ireland. I know y'all getting screwed over there too. Mr. Waters. he
How
changed
you
your name.
doing? Yeah,
You changed your name.
yeah.
I ain't
I
mad
got
at
I gotta look like that Mr. Palmer.
you. I know I heard that. Steven, hey, how's the child support system out there in Ireland, man? I know it's fucked up like it is in America. It's a worldwide pandemic.
Definitely,
Say big
definitely.
time, yeah. I'm waiting my guy to come on. I just texted him and told him we live, but basically we want to tell a story. Plus we're gonna do open discussion, man. What I'm gonna try to do, like we was talking earlier, Mr. Waters, we're gonna do
Yeah.
different topics and things. And what's up, Blue? Yeah, he changed the name. Name change. Yeah. Yeah, how you doing though, bro? Good.
Yeah, yeah. It's hanging in there.
Yeah. How's the weather out there, man? I know it's hot.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot today, but we had a little bit of a breeze.
Yeah, it's a breeze out here, man. It's like 80 degrees, but it's a nice cool breeze.
But now, what you were saying about seeing a lot of people from Texas, it's pretty much almost damn near impossible, even if a man wanted to try to take full custody of his children, to
Oh,
try and get them away from the baby mama in the state of Texas, because it's a baby mama state, pretty much.
majority of these states are
Yeah.
states, man.
I've had friends that the baby mamas had multiple accounts of hard drug abuse,
Mm.
distributing, multiple occasions, going to jail, having altercations, this and that, and still gets full custody of the children.
They don't
And
care.
it's insane. It's insane. I've
Man, why?
had I've had I've had baby daddies that have told me about the baby mamas taking their kids around. drug dealing houses and trap houses. Like it's insane. It's
Right.
insane.
And the
And
father,
getting arrested and getting caught, getting pulled over, drugs on them, guns in the car, going to jail. Kids go to CPS. She gets out. Kids go back home.
yeah. And the thing about it is, you got the father that's stable, got a job, work, probably got a family, home, and everything else. They'll tell him, you got to work for that. You got to pay for
Yeah.
that. They don't
Yeah.
want to have it. They want that child support. And
Yeah.
if the child's in the system, he still got to pay it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The government dictate what you pay. They take it straight out of your pay before that you see it. If you're self-employed, you pay, or you end up in court. No matter how often you keep the kids or what you do, sure to pay for the BMT's hair and nails. You right about that. It don't matter. It don't matter.
That
Don't matter.
they take that money from you every paycheck. They take that money from you every paycheck.
Hey, look. Somebody said what? Because what you said, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It happens. It's because you've got these attorneys that can find one little flaw. You can say something wrong, misword something in the paperwork, and they can just wipe it all away. Take it all. Take it all. Take everything.
I know what the court or judge will do. Sometimes baby mama tell do it could be under child abuse or neglect. They'll give it to the mama. They won't give it to the father. They'll give it to the mother.
Yep.
They'll give it to their grandma before they give it to the father.
Right.
And he had to pay her the child support. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. But like he was saying, they take the money right out of your pocket before you even get your paycheck. Federal tax, your Medicaid or Medicare tax, and then whenever you file your taxes, you get taxed. And where's all that money going? To a government that doesn't give shit about you. And people, there's just too many people that want to sit back and complain about it, but they don't do anything to change it. They're like, oh, I'm not going to vote. It doesn't matter if I vote. It's not going to make a difference. We need to get rid of electoral votes, get rid of the collegiate votes in the college towns. A politician's vote should not count any more than mine.
Man, hey, Thomas said my ex had multiple cases open. I went to Texas and had a sheriff hand my daughter over to me. She came and took her back. I rescued my kids from a meth lab, and she still got sole custody. Paid child support. They revoked my rights. See what I mean, man?
Yeah, exactly.
My boy Danny Gilmore in the house. He been around me on this page from day one, man.
Statistically, think about it, guys. Think about it. Not anything sexist or anything against women, and that women can't do anything that men can, okay? But a man can go out and get a very high-paying job for doing some hard work, and the government wants that money. They want that money.
That is a money.
And they think, oh, well, she's going to be getting support from him, so it's going to make it easier for her to raise those children on her own, when all we hear as single fathers paying that child support is that they're having to do it all. They're having to deal with all the burden. No, that's not how it works. You asked for that. We came to that agreement that we were better being apart than we were being together, or she just left, or you just left because you didn't want to be there. That doesn't matter.
And they don't
still want to be a father.
They don't need
to be a father. You want to be a part of your kid's life.
And they don't need
the government says, oh, well, you've got to pay this much, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that.
And the thing about it, they don't need no lawyer. They just go up there by themselves. They don't care.
Right?
Yeah. We don't stand anyway. You're right about that. We have to have a cock and ball joke, work my ass off, provide with everything I had and more. Yet I've gone 7 weeks with no access to my 3-year-old daughter. Where's the justice that fact, if is any, on I'm an upstanding citizen, employee really, dad get shit on hands down. Apologies if I've been outspoken or I've been extremely passionate over my children, the same as any other loving father. I hope one day soon the law change, someone stand up for our rights. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd stand behind that 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, child support is a broke bitch hustle.
Michael
I
say
believe that.
not a federal thing. Child support is a state level. It's in every state is different. Vote where you live. Yeah, it's different state, but they all run the same. It's all about that money.
Yeah,
Uh,
because the more
federal
cases
too,
the
bro.
state has, the more federal income they receive.
Yeah, the federal government is the one who is state funded, but the federal government actually gives them a budget every year. They give them grants every year for they got a quota how much money they make every year, and the government funds them. The state, each state. So
Hmm.
so yeah, shit. The state ain't shit, but they all involved, man. They all involved in that.
Right.
But Daniel in the house.
Yeah, Daniel's back.
Oh yeah, I just texted him. I'm waiting on my guy to come in and do the interview. But it's cool. But see that just having an open discussion. But yeah, Dan, you could jump on. We jump on again. Just waiting till my boy get on. But yeah, man. What's up, Fly Boy? But it's crazy.
It's gotta something has gotta change
What's good,
for the
bro?
entire system.
Yeah, Dan, you could jump in and join. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. And the thing about it, every man that I talk to basically got the same situation when it comes to either a baby mama tears or this court system or both. You know, it's definitely crazy. What's up, Dave?
How y'all doing?
Hey, Daniel.
Good, good, man.
Correcting something that was said, child support's not state, it's federal. It's all ran off of federal guidelines. So
Yeah,
therefore it's federal. All the states have different nuances. The states will have different nuances, but it's all maintained by federal guidelines. The states have to comply with federal guidelines. If they don't, they're in violation of the law and no order is valid at that point.
Yeah, and like I was just saying, the federal they fund the state. They give them money every year. They got to make a certain amount to keep that money going. Of course.
Yep. Judges, child support judges' paychecks actually come from the Title 4D funds. Their bonuses come from the Title 4D funds. That's why, like in child support cases, like Mr. Palmer, to notice the demand to dismiss that I sent email to you last night. If you actually read through that, you'll notice in there that the Supreme Court has actually ruled that these judges, because these judges are because they receive federal funds, they're actually what's considered in law as witnesses, not in a legal position to issue an order forcing you to pay. They are witnesses to the case and therefore have no legal authority to issue judgments, period.
That's why they're not real judges. That's why they're not real judges when it comes to family court.
Yep.
They're not.
It's all extortion. It's all a legal extortion racket that once it gets exposed, it's gonna collapse the whole damn thing once somebody actually has the balls to push it hard enough. And well, that's where this bald ass Irish guy comes in.
and that's why when the person go to jail, it's because they failed the agreement of the contract that you signed, not because you behind child support, because technically they're not supposed to put you in jail for being behind child support.
Nope. And technically, the Supreme Court has actually said that they're supposed to find alternatives to jail anymore. And if they try to arrest you for arrears child support, if they try to threaten you with jail or loss of license or anything, you automatically have due process rights because they're taking things from you. It automatically invokes your due process. And guess what? In that due process, there is a burden of proof requirement that has to be met. However, it's the state that has to meet the burden of proof requirement. Further, the child support orders in and of themselves state that payments have to be made. It doesn't state that the full payment has to be made. So if you are unable to afford the full payments, verify to the courts that you are unable to make the full payments, and as long as you're giving them like $25 a month, they can't harass you, they can't threaten you with jail, they can't take your license because you are actually meeting your end of the contract and paying something.
Right. Hey, Maurice, he said his kid's mother don't have custody. How does she still get child support? Who got custody of your kids, bro?
Yeah, who through the courts has custody of the kids? That's the real question. Because if the courts say she's the sole legal, sole physical,
it don't matter who got, right?
Now, if he can prove that the children aren't living with her and that somebody else has been taking care of him, that's grounds for him to get things back in court for custody as well as child support. And if he can prove when they started living with somebody else, he could actually go back and have them eliminate all that child support for the mother and watch it from that angle as well, because she ain't had the kids. Therefore, she ain't fulfilling her end of said contract.
You got to prove that, though. They'll
Burden of proof on that is on you. So I mean, it all comes down to where's the burden of proof lie. And once you establish where the burden of proof lies in any particular matter, from there it's all about, does due process apply or does it not? When it comes to custody, family law, child support, all that bullshit, due process does apply. The Supreme Court has actually said due process needs to be even more safely guarded and preciously guarded in family law as opposed to any other type of law. So basically the Supreme Court is saying in family law, that's where you should have the most due process. Even over criminal cases, you should have more due process in family law than anywhere else. And that's one thing that gets neglected by all these family law courts is due process. They allow hearsay evidence, they allow uncorroborated, unsubstantiated claims and all that, all in direct violation of your due process rights.
Right.
That's what we need to stop learning.
Andre say he paid his stimulus check and he paid his child support on time, and they took a stimulus check. If you got rearage, they gonna take it. If you got your taxes, they gonna take it. It don't matter.
If you don't anything for rears, they're taking it. If you
they don't care if you got money to put food in your mouth. They don't give a shit.
They don't.
You know why that is? You know why that is? Because they want you to rely on the government. They're like, oh, come get some food stamps. We'll give you some food stamps. Oh, come file for Social Security. Come file for unemployment. File for unemployment and at least apply for 5 or 6 jobs every month, and we'll give you money just for trying and going and getting a job. Doesn't mean you have to get one.
Right.
I could live off unemployment if I wanted for the rest of my life. Going out trying to find a job, failing all the job interviews. Like it's twisted. There's too many lazy people that just want the handout, but don't want to put in the work. And us fathers are having to pay for that. We're paying for that.
Eric, real quick, send me a message on Facebook giving me your email address, and I'll email you some information.
Who?
Whoever Eric's message that was just up there.
Okay.
That was just across screen. Him.
Okay.
I forgot the last name. I'm horrible with names. I know faces.
You talking about as far as the kid paying child support and not having a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Maurice.
No. To Maurice, as far as his goes, back to that, if he owes any arrears at all, they're gonna take it. If he can prove he doesn't owe arrears and they took it, that's theft, and that's fraudulent theft at that. That means he has illegal action against the state.
Hold on. The one who said that wasn't Maurice. Maurice was talking about paying child support for a mother.
Yeah. And then Eric is the one that said he doesn't know the information. That's who I was saying to message me on Facebook was Eric, and
he just did. Do you see it? Let me put it up there. You see it?
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But check this out, brother. We was talking about this yesterday. Andrew said that whether it's $5 or $50,000, your passport get revoked. And I know you know how to get your passport, whether you got arrears or not. And it is a way around that. Tell everybody how to get your passport, even if you're in a real or you lost your passport. Tell him what can he do?
Well, for one, whenever they took your passport from you and told you you weren't allowed to have it anymore, did you have due process of law and were your due process rights upheld during all that? If not, get it back into court. The Supreme Court has already ruled on this. They can't take the shit from you. They have to allow you a means to work. They have to allow you a means to get back and forth to work. They have to allow you the means to support yourself and everything else. By law, they're required to do that. As far as the passport and all that goes, that's them taking something from you, punishing you in a court of law. That means you have due process rights. The burden of proof is on them. If they violate your due process rights, and it was the courts who violated your rights, which it is the courts violating your due process rights, that's where y'all need to get familiar with Title 18. It's actually USC, United States Code 18, Section 242, and would do well to learn 241 as well. Well, proceed with your actions from there. That's your best bet. Stop playing that game. Start suing these motherfuckers.
He said he in the state of Oklahoma. He said, hell no, your passport is in the air, rearage. So what would he have to do? I mean, what would he have to do?
He would need to contact the child support enforcement agency and start there. Most likely they're going to ignore him, but start with his caseworker and tell them that he has not had his due process rights. They have not shown cause as to why his passport needs to be revoked. They illegally took his passport and prevented him from being able to travel freely. That's where you start. And when they deny it, because they don't want to uphold your rights because that means they lose money, then that's whenever you proceed with your legal actions. Like I said, the main thing that folks need to start doing to get rid of this shit and fixing this shit is sue these people. Sue these bastards for violating your rights. You have rights. Every parent has rights. And the burden of proof is on the party trying to take your rights, not on you. You don't have to prove you're a good guy. They have to prove you're a bad guy.
Well, he say he good. He say he good. He just talking about the fathers who got milk by it. Yeah, because a lot of guys think if you got RIS that they can't get their passport.
Nah, you have many options. You have many out. If they take anything from you, that's illegal. That's a criminal action at that point, and any criminal action has to have due process rights. In order for them to take anything from you, it has to be done through the due process of law, with the burden of proof being on the government or the state is the government, but the burden of proof being on them. How do you sue them? That's simple. Do your research in USC 18-241 and 242. 241 is conspiracy against rights. 242 is deprivation of rights under color of law. If you look at the language, it includes judges, attorneys, CPS, caseworkers, police officers, all that. If they're acting in their official capacity and violate your rights, you have a lawsuit. You don't have to have an attorney because they're all in bed with the courts and judges any damn way. File your lawsuit, do it on your own. All it is filing fees at that point in time. You got the time clearly. Do your research, do your homework. I get time might be limited because of work, family obligations, and all that shit. If you have to sacrifice sleep for a little while, do so. It's up to you how much you want to be a victim. You're the only one who can change your situation. They're not going to do it for you. They're going to tell you how to fix it. They want to keep you open.
So
Mike, so what's up, bro?
So
what's going on with you, man?
So, Mr. Daniel, so what about the ones that aren't as book savvy or book intelligent, or the ones that don't feel like they could go and do that for themselves? Who do you trust, not as a lawyer, but as like I've heard of Fathers for Rights, and me and Mr. Palmer were talking earlier about all these different organizations that are still ran by women that are still just trying to put you in the ground and keep you suppressed. Like who can we all trust? What kind of organization can we all stand behind that we know is going to take Fathers for Rights seriously?
Do you want the honest truth?
No one.
Do you want my honest answer to that?
Of course we do.
Nobody. They're not going to advocate for you because it costs them too much money. The lawyers, even the biggest fucking fathers' rights advocate attorneys in this country are still not going to push too damn far if it comes to it, because they know they got to still deal with these judges. Now, you might find the odd unicorn attorney that will actually push hard and everything else, but really at the end of the day, they're not vested in your case because it doesn't affect their life in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Your best bet for those who don't know, for those who don't have the ability to access the information or the knowledge to understand the information, because some of these words are confusing as hell. I'll agree to that. You have Google Scholar, which is a good tool to use. You can find the Supreme Court cases related to family law and everything else using Google Scholar. And then find people. I mean, your biggest bet for help in this fight is other fathers who have been through it. That's honestly my honest best answer. We've got each other. That's it. Nobody else.
We got to support each other.
Yep. And all of us who do know this information and do know how to get by this and do know how to explain, me personally, that's why I've been telling people all day. I've been emailing people all day, different information and shit and everything else, because I feel that since I know this information and I can understand it to an extent, I feel it's my obligation to help those who aren't in the position I'm in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want anybody else to go through what I've had to go through. I don't want anybody else to feel what I've had to feel all these years and everything else. So,
I mean, you know what? And that's why I talk about, no disrespect to people that advocate, that go out there with the signs and they pick it every year. They go to the state capitol, but like I say, it's a waste. It's not going to change. Like you said yesterday, 10,000 people out there, 20,000 people, but you got 100 million of them that say, yeah, we support child support. Fuck you. Ain't nothing
Yep.
gonna change. And like you
No,
said,
because look where the money's at. The money's on the other side with the more people. More people tend to equal more money.
Black is my man. And you know what the thing about it is? What kills me when you try to tell them that they well, you know what? The majority of people that got this organization, like I said before, you find out they actually ran by women and they getting child support, but they say they support men. That's why, like I talk about these conscious black women, they say they support our kings, they kangs, and then they set them up for failure. So that's why I don't entertain that. You can take that how you want, sexist, self-hater, whatever you want to say, but that's the truth.
It's not sexist. It's not sexist at all, because I know personally I have the highest utmost respect for women, and I know most fathers that I know have the highest utmost respect for women.
It's the
But
baby.
when a woman's trying to strip you of your manhood and strip you of the next 18 years of your life, you have to, the government says that you have to pay this much and you have to go by these court orders, and this is when you can get them, and this is when you're allowed to see them. No, I don't think anybody deserves that right to tell me when I'm allowed to see my kids.
See, the thing is,
that's something because they don't want to have that dispute, because it's either you make an agreement or it's all or nothing.
the thing is though, my man, is they don't have any authority to tell you you're not allowed to be a parent. They don't have any authority to tell you you can't be a part of your children's life. They really don't. Look at what the Supreme Court has says. Use Google Scholar and search what all Supreme Court rulings related to family law. You'll be amazed at some of the stuff that pops up, and you'll be reading some of these case law. Just read the short clips from the short snippets of the case law, basically the main point, if you will, or the questions that the Supreme Court was looking at regarding the case. You'll see a lot of that. You'll start reading some of that shit, and you're gonna be like, damn, every bit of this applies to me. Every bit of this applies to my case. It's astounding just how much really does apply that the courts at the state level and the county levels completely ignore. The jacked up part of it is they don't have the authority to go above the Supreme Court. They all have to uphold Supreme Court rulings. They don't, because it's not their responsibility to teach you what your rights are and what the case law is. That's your responsibility to know.
Yeah,
like I said, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want freedom? How bad do you want to be a parent? That's something each individual has to decide. And if the individual decides that any fight is worth it, then from there, educating yourself and going and doing what's needed to be done at that point.
Yeah, and that's actually sad. A brother just said, he said he gave up. I can't. That's why I say sometimes you got to wash your hands and move on. And
at times, yeah.
You definitely, because you don't want to go in the hole where you screw yourself and you bury yourself in the hole. You can't be a fool. You fight much as you can, do what you got to do, but like I tell people, you gotta keep them veins cold, because if not, you're gonna fold. You're gonna dig yourself a bigger hole. It ain't worth it. Wash your hands and move on.
And you got to know when to cut your losses and walk away. Like, being honest, as much as it hurts me and as sad as it is in my particular case, I honestly don't think that there's a path for me and my daughter to ever have a relationship, because she's going to be 17 next month. You know what I'm saying? She's had lies put in her head all her life. So I honestly don't think there's ever going to be a real relationship there. Now, the reason I'm still fighting is because I'm hopeful that maybe if we can do the counseling, she'll see that it's all bullshit, and maybe there will be. But ultimately, my fight isn't necessarily about getting to be a part of my daughter's life anymore. That's mainly what I want. But now it's about trying to make sure that other parents, mainly fathers, don't have to go through what I've gone through for the last almost 17 years. I don't want other people to have to feel like I felt. There's too many men out there that take their lives every damn day over this bullshit. That ain't right. That ain't fucking cool. And that ain't fair at all. It's fucked up.
Right.
Nah, that shit needs to end. That's why I'm going to keep this fight going. And this fight will put me in the ground. Literally, this fight will put me in the fucking ground before I give up. I don't give a fuck who likes it and who don't. Anybody don't like it, you can fuck off and eat a dick for all I care. I'm still going to keep going. And they can still kiss my fucking ass.
Hey, you wash your hands and move on from the bullshit, but you still call out these baby mama tears in the system. Help other fathers, help other kids if you can be in a situation predicament. That's what I'm on. Because I'm done. I wash my hands too. I don't give a fuck. And
now, see, I don't get mad at my baby mama terrorist anymore. When she makes false accusations, I kind of just laugh. I'm curious as to what new claims there's going to be, because it's always interesting. You know what I'm saying? What new shit is she going to come up with this time? I don't even care about what she says. She can make up whatever accusations, whatever fucking story she wants to make. I don't care. I'll just smile at you, nod. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, where's your proof? Sure. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to push for change to the system.
Right.
That's where my anger is, and that's where my issue comes in. It's not at my baby mama terrorists. It's not at the attorneys. It's not even necessarily at the judges who have allowed it. I don't really even have anger towards them judges because they were just doing what they normally do. Now, are these judges at fault? Yes, the judges are at fault. However, when it comes down to it, what allows these judges to do this shit? The corrupt system does. That's where my issue is.
Hey, check this out. I didn't know you was on, bro. I'm new to this StreamYard, bro. I got my brother Time Travel on here. He gonna be doing the interview, telling the story. I'm gonna put him on right now, and I see Mr. Waters came back on. Okay, what's going on, bro? How you feel, man?
What's going on, bros?
Hey, you out there in Texas too, right? Dallas, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in Dallas.
Okay, yeah. It seems like everybody gets screwed to Texas.
Oh
Texas
yeah,
and
man.
Washington are bad. Texas and Washington are bad
it's
states for
ridiculous.
Hey,
right.
hey, I heard Louisiana the same way too.
It's all over. It's all over.
It's all states,
Yeah.
but from what I've learned through my research, Washington, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Virginia or West Virginia, I can't remember, are some of the worst states when it comes to fathers' rights. They are literally like Washington. People, like you'll hear people tell you Washington's the worst. If you actually start looking through case law, some of Washington case law from what they've done and of cases that they've had, man, I'd love to be in Texas with my issue. Seriously.
Derek say,
Yeah, man, Texas fucked up.
all of them
Yeah.
bad, but all of them bad. But what I mostly hear from California, New York, Texas, and Michigan. Them the ones I always hear about, and
Yeah.
they all bad. Ain't no good state. They all bad when it comes to Michigan.
They're all corrupt.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I want to tell me your story. With your situation, because I know we talked for a while, and he definitely and everything. I appreciate it, and I know you got a baby mama terrorist and shit. Just tell your
Oh
story.
yeah. Oh man, my story it's a little bit complex because you know what I'm saying, she kind of like on and off. Like
That's
my
what-
story is it's a little bit different, but just due to the fact like 1 minute she'll be like, oh, well, you know what, like when I break down the shit to her like statistically and law wise and what common sense wise and what's the best benefit for the kid, fuck me. I tell her all the time, fuck me. Just listen to what I'm saying about your kid. Fuck me. Leave me out of it. You don't have to like me. But listen to what the best benefit for the greater good of your kid. They can't even see the bigger picture. So, a lot of times, she'll go back and forth like, oh, well, you know what? You're right. I need to just take off the child support because I'm realizing that the shit is I'm being used. I'm basically being pimped by the state. So, she'll go back and forth with it. But basically, like I was saying, I really come on here to let a lot of guys know that basically a lot of these girls do this shit, man, because they mad either because you left, you got another girl, and shit like that. It's usually never because the kid's starving. I never see the story where the lady was just like fucked up under the bridge. She's starving, can't afford diapers, can't get no Similac, and then she like, hey, I have no choice but to go to the court. That's like 1% of the cases. So, basically I'm saying that to say, a lot of these cases are basically out of spite, out of anger, because
out of spite and anger.
Because the relationship failed. It has shit to do with the kid.
Nope, not at all.
Like I see a lot of women who do the shit before the kid even start pre-K, so I know it's not about money. You dig what I'm saying? It's not about money because you doing this before the kid even came. I mean, before the kid was even eligible enough to even start, regular daycare school or whatever. And these girls be wanting like thousands. They want. Oh yeah, that's all it's about. It's about control, and they mad.
They're mad because they can't control your life anymore because you ain't with them. So what do? They go and try to hem you up on anything they can to keep fucking controlling your life. That's all it comes down to. It ain't about fucking. It's about.
It ain't about no money. Cause I didn't came to my baby mama and was like, look, if it got that bad for you, if I can't do it, I have a dad. He understand. If worst come to worst, I told her. Now it didn't never have to come to this, but I told her if worst come to worst, me and my dad could take my boy, and hey, we don't need to fuck with you again. You know what she said? Well, no, you don't. I don't want you taking my baby. So this is proof that they like to just keep. They don't want to solve the problem. They want to. They want to have. They want to have a legitimate excuse where it's not even legitimate, but they're using the kid to make it legitimate. But it's still illegitimate because they're just using the kid as the weapon to say, you know, I'm keeping it. I'm doing this because it's my kid. And that's where it's all fucked up. And that's what a lot of guys don't know.
For them to have a hand in your cookie jar. And
that's right. That's all it is. And keep a paper trail on you too.
Control.
Yeah. It's a paper trail thing too.
You can't pick them up this day, but you can pick them up this day, and you have to reevaluate your whole schedule and fit it around that.
Yeah, man. See, that's like the state. That's basically now your kid's state property. When you follow those terms, you following the state order. That's basically like the state is adopting your kid at that point.
Yeah.
When the state tell you, well, two times out of the month is 2 weekends out of the month is good enough for you. That's like fucked up by itself anyway, because that's still not a real father. If you just saying on only 4 days out the whole 30-day month, that's what the state says. In Texas, that's what they say anyway. I don't know about other states, but I'm just speaking on the state of Texas. The state of Texas says every other weekend and you cool.
But yet they're violating your parental rights when they say every other weekend, because in the Supreme Court,
right.
The Supreme Court has never said a parent is only a parent part-time and a parent only gets access to their children part-time. No, the Supreme Court says your parental rights are God-given rights, unalienable rights. That's where people need to start learning. See, the thing is, I mean, I understand. I read a lot of people's comments, read a lot of people's stories and everything else. And one thing I keep seeing is people that they go in there and they try to stand up for their rights, but then these judges want to start coming down on them, using harsh language, threatening them and everything else. And everybody cowers down and backs down. Stop fucking backing down. You're supposed to be a man. Take your hand, reach between your legs, squeeze and see if you got a pair. If you do, man the fuck up and stand up for your rights. When you back down, that's what they count on. They bank on your fear so that way they can keep abusing you and violating your rights. Man,
the number one way.
Even before even if they don't threaten you or this and that, like they dilute or that they delay and they delay and they delay. And they delay.
And you have options there too.
You know how much you have to keep paying your attorney, even though they might delay it? You have to pay that son of a bitch every single time you show up at his office.
Don't get an attorney.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But
the attorney work for him too. That's what's fucked up.
It's all incestuous. These attorneys have been dealing with these judges for years in most cases, long before you ever come into their system, which means they know these judges outside of court. They're friends with these judges. Some of them went to law school with these judges. They're going to make backroom deals with these judges without your knowledge, without your consent. They're going to sign off on things without your knowledge, without your consent, just to appease the courts and not rock the boat. And then you get an order that's already signed and everything saying, well, this is your life now, and you had no say in it. That's a violation of your due process rights. That's not a fair and unbiased procedure. It's all illegal.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they do it. But like you say, they use that fear of, mostly in Texas, they use the fear of jail. And that's usually the number one tool in the scare tactic to get dudes and get fathers who really against it to say, you know what, man, I'm sick of fighting these people, man. Fuck it, man. I go ahead and surrender, man.
Yeah, and that's where we as fathers make our mistake, is we decide, we get to that point to where, like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done fighting with them. I'm just going to go ahead and agree with them. That way it's easy. My life's easier. Man,
that's right.
Your life easy. Stop. Don't fucking give up. Keep fighting and have your freedom. Financial freedom. Have your freedom to be an actual parent to your child. Have your freedom to have your child in your home half the time like you should. All that shit, man.
Yeah, that's right. But they like I say, when you leave it up to the state, they'll say, well, fuck that having to do there every day. You can just be there like 4 or 5 days, and that's good enough to us. As long as we get paid, we don't really give a shit if the kid have a real father anyway. Just as long as we get our money.
Exactly. And that's a problem. And that's a serious fucking problem. And anymore, it's pissing me off more and fucking more. And I don't advocate violence, right? I try to stay away from violence. I try to keep the peace at all times with everybody. And I remove myself from situations that are going to get violent and stuff, because I don't care to be around that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it aggravates you to make you end up doing something, you will regret doing later.
This this shit, all this abuse that I've been dealing with for almost 17 years now, watching all these people get fucked over by the same system, violating rights. Nah. This is one time I'm gonna throw myself right into the fucking conflict, and this is one time I'm gonna be out the front fucking trying to lead the charge, and I will push for change, and I will cause change. Whether it's in my case or I have to do it for somebody else, it don't fucking matter. I'm going to be a part of the change that's coming, and I can guarantee you that it will be fucking coming.
Salute. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, my brother. I'm with you. Because it's all about, I'm with you. I'm with all you guys on that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, time traveler. So how long y'all was in a relationship before the change up? Because I know it changed once y'all broke up. That's usually when it happens.
Yeah, no, I was with her from I'll say 2010 to like the end of 2013. But I basically say I was talking to her in 2010, but the relationship was actually from 2011 to 2013.
Right. So,
And we ended up having a kid a year after we was together. We was together a full year with no kid.
right.
Then the
But
2012.
with the kid?
Then the second going into 2012, she ended up having a kid in 2012, the beginning of 2012. But when she started putting me on actual child support, this was after the kid basically was like going almost about to be 2. But when he was like right before he turned 2, this is when I had basically got done with her bullshit games, because a year after the kid is when they start using the baby mama terrorist tactics, because they feel like now the kid here, I can just fuck over, basically I run the show now. You get it? So, and that's when I was like, oh, fuck this. Like, nah, like this was my first kid. So I didn't see it coming, because this was my first kid. So I didn't see it coming. And when I realized that, oh, this is what women do, they use the kid to beat me with it. If you're going to use the kid to beat me with, now I'm not fucking with this. Now I'll just leave. Fuck it. You can take the kid and I'm gone. Because I'm not going to play that game with you back and forth, baby mama drama, baby daddy drama. I'm not going to be a statistic. Right. Fuck it. I'm not going to be the statistic like everybody else. Now I might just look like this, but when you talk to me, you will find out quick. I'm not playing that game with the masses. I'm not playing with the 90%. I don't play with the 90%.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I might look like this. Oh hell, you just killed me with that one, my man.
Oh yeah. Hey man, I just look like this. Hey man, I just look like this, man. Don't judge. Hey, y'all know the saying. Don't judge the book by its cover. Y'all know how it goes.
No, I ain't know what you said. It's just the way you said it fucked me all up. Me and Mr. Palmer,
yeah, man. What was you saying, Mr. Palmer?
I said she thought she saw sucker all over your face.
Yeah, man, because see, at first my first reaction was like instinct. I was just reacting like any other father would react. I was basically like, man, hey, this the right thing to do. Let me just hold down, man, and stay put, because this the right thing to do for my kid, right? I'm not thinking, oh no, they're gonna use this against me. Right. I'm not thinking, they're gonna use this to beat me and bully me with. Now, when I figured out this was the tactic you trying to do, hey, I'm gone. Like, fuck this. Like, you can have this kid. I'm not finna fight to be no daddy now. Like, fuck that. Like, I'll fight to be a daddy on a logical level, but on the illogical level, on the emotional, cause she mad and bitter level, no, I'm not playing that game.
I heard that.
See, like Mr. Palmer posted a video I watched. I think it was yesterday. Mr. Palmer posted it. It's a guy talking about calling baby mama terrorist a hoe, cussing in front of the judge and everything else. But one thing he said was that that stuck out to me in that video. I mean, the last statement he made, still going to get my dick sucked. That was just comical. But the thing that stood out the most to me was when he said, "You're fighting for money. I'm fighting to be a parent."
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
I heard that and I'm like, damn, how did I never think of phrasing it that way myself? Right. Because that's the reality of it. These bitches all fighting for money, and all we're fighting for is to be a parent to our children. How fucked up is that? Now we are not the same.
Here's the thing. Not only they fight.
Yeah, we're not the same, because we don't want money. I don't want no money from her. I just want to keep the fighting down.
We just want to be parents.
Here's the thing.
That's right.
They not only fight for money, they fight for control. They fighting for to make your ass suffer. They fighting to kill you. They fight for your money. They fighting to set you up a failure. And
they're pretty much holding the halo over your head.
Right. I got you, sucker. I got you.
And I also see women who are also like the dude to go on and they'll use that deadbeat story, that sad story, as an excuse of why that the bullshit that they ran by themselves failed them by themselves.
Yeah.
Now, here's the sad part. Majority of men don't even have an issue with the child support. The majority of them just want to be a father. And like I tell everybody, right? And I tell everybody, if I ain't allowed to see my kid, I shouldn't be allowed to pay child support. I shouldn't have to. Let her do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's one thing. That's one thing I say too, Mr. Palmer. Like I said from the start, I've never had an issue necessarily with paying child support.
Right.
My issue with paying child support, because for the first few years that me and my baby mama Tara split up, she got her fucking check every damn week. She got her money every damn week, and I never said a word. It wasn't until after the first few years where my daughter was over 3 years old, and I had only got to spend a month with her since me and the baby mama Tara split up. A month and 3 years. That's whenever it got to the point. And then she started telling me, no, you're not going to see her anymore at all. Okay, then bitch, you ain't getting a penny from me. Fuck you.
Right.
If you think you're gonna get in my pocket and not let me see my daughter, you ain't getting in my pocket. You can kiss my fucking butt, soaking that bitch ass judge, soaking those bitch ass courts, soaking that bitch ass state. They don't like it, come at me. Why is it that still almost 17 years later, over $60,000 in arrear, I still have a license? I've never had to go in front of a fucking judge about child support. Why is that the case? Why am I fairly unique in that? Ain't nobody 60 grand behind not having notice from the court. I've never had to appear for child support ever. How? Why?
I think it's state extortion, and they know it, but I think they just don't want to press it because they don't want to get called out on it. That is illegal state extortion, basically.
In my case specifically, it's not the same for everybody. I mean, I'm sure there's others like mine, but in my specific case, we weren't even residents of the state of Washington, which is where it was all done at. We were residents of the state of Louisiana. She fraudulently filed in a different state. I think that's why they won't.
That's fraud.
That's why the state of Washington won't do nothing to me. I think that's why they don't fuck with me at all, because they know if they start fucking with me, I'm gonna hem them up for fraud. Because with my case, it's all fraud technically because the judges don't have the legal authority. But in my case, it's legit fraud on the opposing party that started it all. So my whole case was done fraudulently before it ever even started. Not the illegal nature of it, because the judge is a witness, not an actual judge, but the illegal, fraudulent nature of all of mine is the reason I think they won't come at me. I think they've looked at it and everything. They won't come at me. Like I said,
they drew a red line around you.
Kiss my ass.
Hey,
they drew a red line around you is what they did. You're a risk factor.
Check this out, y'all. Jimmy Smith said, what about baby mama terrorists that say if you behind on child support, you can't see your kids? That's all about extortion and control, bro.
Yeah, that's all about extortion and
control.
Right.
It's the money.
She just want the money. Yeah, she don't want a family. She just want the money.
If it's a violation, if you have a court order that says you get to see your kids and the baby mama terrorist saying you're not seeing them until you pay me child support, she's in violation of a court order, which means file the motion for contempt, get her ass in front of the judge, hem her ass up to the judge. When she wants to bring up child support to the judge, that's when you tell the judge, Your Honor, the problem with child support is the Title 4D judge who signed that order is in fact a witness due to collecting from Title 4D funds. As such, they have no legal authority to issue said order. Period.
You know what? Hey, Stephen, I think he's the one from Ireland. You want to come on here? I want to see how is it out there in Ireland. We already know America fucked up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they know America.
come on and talk about Ireland. I do want to talk to other people in other countries because on Instagram I got a brother that's from India that's getting screwed by child support. India.
Damn.
Yeah, other countries.
I ain't even know. I ain't even know they had a system like that over there.
No, look, check it out though. Check it out. Here's the thing. Other countries. Everybody thinks that everybody wants to say America doesn't lead the world and everything else. Bullshit. These other countries see these systems put in place in America and then they copy some of these systems because they see the benefits of some of them. For example, legal extortion. How much money does this country get a year from the legal extortion? $51 billion a year. You think these
$1 billion industry
are jumping on the bandwagon too? Bullshit. They're all starting to do it now because they know they can make fucking bank from doing it. All states get so much money for every dollar they collect in child support. The state of Washington specifically gets $12 for the state for every $1 of child support they collect.
Hey, Steven, he said he in the bed. That's cool. Hey, look, next time, send me an inbox, man. I definitely want to interview. I want to see how it is in Ireland. I know it's the same, but we need to hear people from all over the world. We get enough people from America. So definitely, well, you're going to stay in tune anyway. So it's all good. But I appreciate you staying on.
Thank you, Steven.
Yes, sir. Hey, Derek from Wisconsin, he said he put a lien on his property and posted his arrears and the collection on his credit report. Hey, do you want Do you want to come on
Yeah.
and
All illegal.
talk about that? If you want to, I'll see you the link. You could definitely come on and talk about that because they'll put it in your property, put in your credit report.
Mhm.
Driver license. Hey, in
And
Texas,
like
they
Daniel
did it
said,
on my
like
license.
Daniel said, it's
Took your
illegal. It's
The
definitely
thing is,
illegal.
Yeah, they put a lien. Well, they put a lien. They didn't take it. They just put a lien on it. So like when my old license expire, I can't get a new one without going
Yeah.
through them. Yeah,
Wow.
like
Nah,
it's
but see,
fucked up, man.
the thing is though, time travel, check it out. It's illegal because whenever they put that lien on your license and suspended your license, did they take you in front of the court and give you your full due process rights?
No, sir. They just sent me an envelope. They didn't say shit. They just sent me a letter saying we took it.
No, no is the key word. No, they didn't uphold your due process rights. So therefore, was it done legally if they didn't uphold your
Oh yeah. Oh no, hell no, it wasn't done legally. Oh no, that's some fraud. No, they found because I knew it was fraud from the beginning when they had lied and I was unemployed at the time and they told me that I made $1,200 a month and I wasn't even making that much. I wasn't even making like $900 that month. Not at that particular time when she filed on me. I had just got out of a little legal trouble myself back in 2013 when I was younger. I'm 30 now, but when I was 23, I was high-headed and I was going through the shit at the beginning with my first child. I didn't know what was going on. I was basically a rookie. And long story short, when I got out, they had filed on me like saying that I had made a certain amount of money just so she could get the division set up to where she could get a certain amount of money a month. And I read the paper and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this not me. This the wrong dude. Because I know I didn't make the amount they were saying. They basically just made a high amount. So that way the mother could get the amount they saw that was fit. And it's really fraud, bro. It's fraud. I'll tell y'all the truth. It's fraud. Because, because all the numbers were inaccurate. They were made up.
Yeah, but the thing is though, even with all the numbers being made up, were your due process rights upheld during the child support proceedings?
No, sir.
By due process rights, I mean proof, evidence to substantiate your claims and everything. That's all part of due process. There has to be physical evidence. If not, they're not upholding your due process rights. They're actually violating your due process rights, which is violating your civil rights, which means you have a lawsuit.
That's right, because I was telling Mr. Palmer that before I came on that I could really file a lawsuit on them for filing fraud on me because they made up the numbers and said they told me what I made and they didn't have no clue of this. So, that's how I knew right then something was suspicious right then, just based off that. I knew something was suspicious at that time because they said I made like $12 to $1,500 a month and I only made like $500 to $900 a month.
Look, here, I'm going to say 3 words that everybody on here needs to hear and pay very close attention to. 3 words. Burden of proof. 3 words. Those 3 words, learn what it means. Learn what burden of proof entails, learn what it means, and then from there, it's easy to determine who the burden of proof is on. And when it comes to child support and all that shit, custody and everything, the burden of proof is not on you. It's on the opposing parties. So when it comes to child support, the burden of proof ain't on you. They have to prove their claims. If they can't, if they can't prove it, and proof doesn't mean hearsay. Hearsay is not admissible, even in family law, although they'll tell you it is. It's bullshit. It's not admissible. It's hearsay. It's a violation of your due process to allow hearsay. But burden of proof, figure out where the burden of proof is, what all that entails, and then look at things from that angle. Because if the burden of proof is not met and it's not fully upheld at every step, the burden of proof isn't, that's a violation of your due process rights. Violation of due process one time is legal grounds for a lawsuit because they violated your civil rights. 1 count of a violation of a civil right is legal grounds for a civil lawsuit. 1 time.
That's right.
Now, in family law, when they take your rights away and everything else based off of lies and shit like that, they're violating the First Amendment, 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment, 6th Amendment, 8th Amendment because it's cruel and unusual punishment, 9th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and 15th Amendment. 6 of the top 10 alone. 6 in the Bill of Rights they violate. So your civil rights are seriously being violated. Not 1 count, multiple counts, which means every count just increases the amount that the lawsuit can be for. And that's not counting damages, that's not counting pain and suffering, that's not counting punitive for the state. That's just compensation alone for the violation of your rights. When you start adding the punitive side, punitive means punishment for the state. When you add the punitive side to it, when you start adding emotional pain and suffering, physical harm and distress, and all these other injuries to it that it does cause, like the baldness you see here, now all that does is just kick that amount up even fucking higher. The amount of time that it goes on increases the amount even higher, and everything factors into that shit. Everything.
Hey, Derek Marshall, check your inbox. I just sent you the link. It's there. Check your inbox.
All that shit really does play a part of it, though, and all that shit really does apply. They're not going to tell you it does. They're not. They're allowed to legally lie to you about it. They're not under any legal obligation to tell you what your rights are. You are responsible to know your rights. They're not going to tell you. That's why I've been trying to send people this information. I've been trying to send to let them know what their rights are. That way they have more information and more knowledge to be able to go into court and try to get the outcome that they deserve and to be a parent like they deserve to be. Because these people in these courts, these attorneys, man, call up any father's rights attorney and ask him, what is a father's rights when it comes from according to the United States Supreme Court? Most of them are going to tell you, I don't know. I can tell you what the state says, but I don't know what the Supreme Court says. Why is it that father's rights attorneys don't know what the fucking United States Supreme Court has said about father's rights? Why?
That's fucked up because
attorneys don't fucking know this information.
I think they want to use those attorneys for their greater good, for evil. That's what I look at. So that's why they never educate them. Well, they never educate them on it.
Well, see, is what it is most people hear father's rights, quote unquote, father's rights attorneys, and they automatically want to jump on it because, well, this is a father's rights attorney. Obviously, they're going to look out for my interests better than anybody else, man. Most of those father's rights attorneys.
That's not true.
Yeah. All they're going to do is help you a little bit more than your average attorney will, but that's it. They're still going to make them shady ass back deal rooms. They're still going to agree to shit that you don't have a say in and everything else. They're still not going to rock the boat too hard. Like I said, it's very rare to find one of those. I call them a unicorn attorney and a unicorn judge because it's those very, very, very rare ones. You're talking literally needle in a fucking haystack type of shit. And I'm talking like a fucking 30-mile high haystack type of shit. One little bit.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, because you're not gonna find them. They not just everywhere like that.
No, it's all incestuous. They're all in bed together. They all work together. They all deal with each other. They a lot of them will talk to each other outside of court and everything else. They know each other's personal phone numbers. They know the names of their children. Everything else. It's all a fucking racket. Like there's. And
it's so fucked. Oh no, I was just saying it's so fucked up. They work. It seems like you would think that because they're father rights attorneys, they work for you, but they actually work for the mother. End up, stabbing you in the back and work for her.
Yep. Like I follow a page. I follow a page on Facebook. It's called Dad Talk Today. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it or anything like that, but a guy from Texas, Jeff Morgan, to be on there at times talking. He's very knowledgeable and knows his shit. There's a guy named Cash. He's from Illinois. Cash. It's with a K though. K-A-S-H.
Cash. No, he actually went to court a couple weeks ago. He been fighting. He's a friend of Cash Jackson.
Yeah, Cash Jackson. That's his last name.
He's
Jackson.
from Illinois as well, but I think he's from Arkansas, and he's in the political field. And he's a military veteran. He's been
Navy veteran.
Right, Navy. He has seen his son over 800 days and his daughter over 600 days. He gets screwed 100% when it comes to child support.
Is what I was gonna say though. It's one of his. If you go to Cash's page, Cash Jackson, K-A-S-H, and you look at his page, you'll find a video on his page, right, where he's actually on the phone with the GAL in his case. The fucking GAL in his case, the guardian ad litem, right? He's talking to this GAL, telling this GAL, I can't afford to pay you. What do you want me to do? For sell my home, live on the streets type of shit is what he's saying. He straight said, is it in the best interest of my children to sell my house? You know what this GAL, the bitch straight said to him? Well, it's all on video too. It's all on recording. You know what the bitch straight said to him? It would be in my children's best interest if you sold your house. That's straight what the GAL said to him. It would be in my kid's best interest for you to sell your home and pay me. Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What the fuck?
Where the fuck is he supposed to live?
Let's be real though. Let's be real though.
It's in the GAL's children's best interest.
Are you really surprised with that comment though?
That's not the children's best interest. That's bullshit. That's not the children's best interest.
No. I'm not surprised. I didn't find it shocking. I didn't find it out of the ordinary. I just get pissed off like no fucking tomorrow about that shit because how the fuck you gonna tell a man that him selling his house and being homeless is the only way he's gonna get to be a dad to his children, and it's your kid's best interest that he puts himself fucking home? No, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you.
That's some bullshit.
Hey, look, y'all. We got
What's up, Derek?
We got Derek Marshall on here, man, and I would definitely want to talk to you.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? You said he got your rears. You say you got lien on your house?
Man, they tried to put I had an old school vet, 77 vet. All of a sudden,
Nice.
I get some documents. I go to register my car and register the title. And the next thing you know, they tell me, there's a lien on it. I'm like, a lien? Man, it's an old school classic, man. It's a show car. I mean, that's what I do. I show cars. So they turn around and tell me that, you got to contact child support. I contact child support. Child support tell me, unless you pay the entire debt in full, there's a lien on it. You can't sell it. You can't register it. You can't drive it. I was like, are you kidding me, man? I said, dude, listen, I wasn't even going to sell my car.
Wait a minute, you can't drive?
Yeah, you can't register the car. So now you're illegal. You know what I mean? So I got in touch with child support and asked them why they put a lien on my car when I make regular child support payments. When they did the interest calculation, the amount that I owed my child's mother was $3,000. With interest, it came to $15,400 and something. And then on the other one, they said I owed $650. With interest, it came to $5,000 or something. And
Sounds
the
about
other one,
right.
they said, because I got 3 baby mamas, but yet they're telling me that the interest is 3 times as much as the actual payoff.
Because
So I'm
that's
telling
money
them, I'm like,
going in their
listen, man.
pocket. That's money going in their
Man,
pocket.
exactly. And
Y'all
the
do know that
mothers
the
are
interest
so
that they charge
upset
on
that
that's
they're
illegal
not
too,
going to
right?
forgive the arrears, man. Huh?
You do know that
What's
the
that?
interest they try to charge on that's illegal too, right?
Yeah.
That's actually
Man, I know.
illegal, and that is theft.
It's extortion. It is extortion, man.
Hey,
It
bro,
I
does.
mean,
It really is. It's legal
the
extortion.
world
It's
is
fucked up.
raping the pocketbook.
Yeah.
It's bad, man.
Derek,
State legal.
You know, and then
State legal
alone,
extortion.
you can go to Credit Karma. Look at your Credit Karma. If you owe any child support arrears, you'll wind up with your child support sitting on your credit,
Yep.
eating up your credit. In fact, I even talked to one of the caseworkers and asked them, if it's a 50-50 raising a child, why does the father get the full birth expense if y'all not married? My first child, I had insurance, she had insurance, we owned a house, we weren't married. The child, neither one of our insurance would cover the birthing expenses. So when she went to child support, I wound up with a $10,000 medical bill right out the gate because she had an epidural, a spinal, and then a C-section.
what they got to do with you?
So I wound up with this big old bill. Huh?
What they got to do with you?
I was like,
You didn't get that birthday.
hey, after I found out that they did that, I was like, I would have drove around till you died and took that baby out myself. $10,000.
Because she had insurance, so why they take yours?
Because she filed for child support. When she filed for child support said, "Oh no, that's okay. We got this."
Do you
So they
have
took
your own?
it, you
Do you have your
Huh?
own health insurance? Do you have your own health insurance?
Yeah, I had my own health insurance. This was in Jay was born in 1980. No, Chad was born in 89. Jay was born in 92. She's 23 now. She's 23 now.
Did the baby mama have her own personal health insurance, or was she on your insurance?
Yes.
They both
No,
have
she was a radiologist technician, man. She had Aurora Healthcare. Yeah, she had insurance.
So
And they gave it to child support.
So what it is her healthcare plan doesn't want to have to pay for it. So they try to come. You don't have the child on your healthcare plan, and Medicare doesn't want to pick it up. They don't want to have to pay for it. So now you have to pay for her giving childbirth.
Listen, brother, I've been through this with 3 kids, and my insurance didn't cover no birthing expenses, and neither did theirs. This ridiculous. I'm from
that's fucked
Wisconsin.
up itself, though.
Yeah.
And I live in Florida. So baby mama don't like to see me living in a 3,200 square foot house. She mad at the world and she living in a condo. I get that. But you got a new dude and y'all got cars that cost more than a house. So y'all got Jaguars and Benzes, and here I am driving Hondas, living in a nice house. I'd rather lay my head somewhere nice, man, than be driving around some fancy ass car. I'm just saying. That's just my thought process.
Hey, Mr. Derek. Hey, Mr. Derek. Hey, Mr. Derek, I want to ask you, what's she asking you money for? She balling.
Yeah,
Man,
sounds like it.
they let her tell it. But you know what? She'll say, "Oh, I don't need that little funky ass child support anyways." But yet, if it stops, she'll go downtown and file immediately. Is he working? Does he have a job? I've always worked. Always had a job.
So let me
It's
ask
a
you,
harassment thing, man.
this. How's your relationship with the kids? You get to see the kids and everything, or you was able to see your kids, or was she manipulated them, or
Oh man, my grown ones, yeah, I stay in touch with. You know, I got one doing a little bit. He be out in a couple years. That's my old boy. He's 30. I raised him as a single father. Didn't
okay.
ask his mama for a dime. Didn't ask his mama for a dime, brother. Say she went from steak to neck bones, man. When I seen her looking like she was smoking crack, I was like, oh yeah, it's all bad for you, but it's all good. I never said nothing bad about her.
Right.
I never told my son nothing bad
That's
about
a
her,
man.
man.
That's a man. That's a man.
I told him, listen, that's always gonna be your mama, man. Love her. He went by her house. I'll never forget this dude. He went by her house, and all she had under her Christmas tree was a checkerboard, and it was for his brother. So I told him, I was like, man, no, stay here. Santa Claus coming tonight, brother. Don't worry, I got you. But see, I had went and bought him a bike before Toys R Us had closed. You know, he wanted the mountain bike. So when he turned around to get in the truck, I'm like, hurry up, man. They're about to close. We go out there and look. He was like, man, hurry up, Dad, before they close. He said, what time they close? I said, wait a minute. What's that in the back seat? He turned around in the truck, man. He looked, he seen his bike. That boy was doing wheelies in the snow on that mountain bike, man. You know? Hey, like I tell little buddy, man, you know what I mean? I always gonna have your back, but I've never talked bad about the mother to none of my children. I've never told my children negative about their moms, man.
Hey,
no matter what I
you know,
like a conversation like this, I would have to go for a ride to have this conversation.
You know what a good campaign slogan would be?
What?
Let me be a father.
Yeah.
Let me be a father.
Exactly.
So what about your other kids?
Man, baby mamas, man, they could be with another man and still hate you just as much as the day you left, man.
Yeah.
That's the problem I got though, bro. Hey, I got a problem with that though, y'all. I got beef with women like that. I'm sorry. I just can't hold back. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm sorry. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that, lady. You can't go on. You already went on with your life. Leave me alone.
Exactly.
And being married don't help. See, when you get married, they see you straight. So you know what they do? Now they go after the woman that you with. Like, oh, she did. You don't know my wife. You don't know what she do. But yet you say, when you get your taxes, I'm taking that. Oh, no, my wife just files injured spouse. We going to get that back. Don't worry about that.
Right.
It's all good.
Right.
Derek, can I ask you something?
It's all good.
Mr. Derek? Can I ask you something real quick, Mr. Derek? Whenever you got taken to court for child support and everything, were your due process rights upheld?
Man, my due process, they was evaded. They was jumped around. They was jumped over. They were manipulated. Just like my man said, the numbers were lies. It was like I brought pay stubs in. I got files, man. When I say I got files, brother, I keep files. My baby mama, the youngest baby mama's case file is thicker than both of my other children's mother together, bro. I mean, and you know, from her with the false domestic violence charges and all that got expunged. There's none of that on my list no more. You know what I mean? To drug allegations. And I don't do no drugs. I don't do drugs. It's crazy.
The reason
I
asked.
No, that's just a custody tactic. When they say when they bring the drugs up, that's just so the court automatically be like, oh shit, no, we can't let the kid go with him. Oh hell no, that's just a tactic. That's a dirty tactic.
We know that. That's baby mama terrorism.
That's right, baby mama terrorist tactic.
The reason I asked about your due process rights is because it's a relevant question.
Hey, I tell all baby daddies. I tell all baby daddies, man, get your case files together. Get your files together. Get all of these files, man. You gotta have all your paperwork in order. I walk in there like I'm an attorney.
Yeah.
And they treat me like I'm a crackhead. Like, oh, that paperwork don't matter, man. We just gonna throw this number on you because believe it or not, I paid child support for
they hate when you come correct.
And come to find out, they overlook. Huh?
Now, what I was going to say is if your due process rights were violated, you do know you can get that back in court for violations of your rights, and you can get literally 100% of every penny you've ever paid in child support given back to you. If they violated your rights.
I had a
I'm with that, Mr. Dave, because I was reading some stuff like that.
Now, if they put you...
His retainer fee was $10,000.
The thing is, child support, whenever you look at it, when you break child support down to its simplest terms in law, it's contract law. That's all child support is contract law. Contract law will tell you if the contract is invalid, illegal, or nullified at any point, it is an invalid contract. As an invalid contract, any services, monetary gains, or anything else that was awarded through the contract is null and void, and you are entitled to your property back because of the illegal and invalid contract. So if your due process rights were not upheld, you can actually take it to court and get all your fucking money back and still sue the state for violating your civil rights, violating your due process.
Now, what they did was they did a hat trick. The commissioner found the flaw in the paperwork. I paid child support from birthing expenses for 7 years. And then on the paperwork, it said joint placement, joint custody. A commissioner, when we went to court, seen this and killed the child support. Didn't kill the debt, but killed the child support, stopped the payment. She went and got one of those legal aid attorneys. We go to court in front of a judge, not a commissioner, a judge. The only thing that can change a judge's decision is another judge. You can't use a commissioner, don't trump judges. So the judge, I don't know what he was on. He said something, well, you think I just got off the boat yesterday? I said, brother, listen, I got a boat in the garage. I don't know about what type of boat you riding in on, man, but, you know, that seemed a little, you know, kind of different. That's kind of eerie for you to go that route with it, brother, because, I mean, I don't know nobody who came across the waters on the boat. No, I don't think nobody you know did that shit either. So, and so he said, for being slick, I'm going to give her full custody, full placement. She's gonna schedule the visits. You're gonna double your payment. Your payment went to $436, and I was like, huh? Why would you do that? He said, shut up. Say anything else in my court, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. And then he just read me, man.
I would have spoke the fuck up and I would have said, I dare you to hold me in contempt when you're violating my rights, you stupid motherfucker. I would have went the fuck off. See, another thing, like
he maybe would have threw you in jail, but you would have got out. But
yeah, see, I like steak. I don't like bologna sandwiches.
You don't. Nowhere in this country is there any law in any state, federal level, or anything that states you are not allowed to use cuss words in court. It doesn't exist. As such, you have a First Amendment right to free speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want. These judges telling you to be quiet, nah, that as soon as that judge said be quiet, that automatically violates your due process rights. The fact that this judge came in and overturned the decision without proof and evidence violated your due process rights. It actually violated 8 different constitutional amendment rights for you, my friend. That's what I'm getting at. Make these motherfuckers accountable. Take these motherfuckers to court and clean house. Bankrupt these fucking states, and it will cause change. It will force their hand and force the change. Bankrupt these motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's the only way, bro. And I'm with you, Daniel. That's the only way to get them to understand.
Exactly.
You got to hurt their pockets. Just like they're trying to hurt fathers' pockets. We have to bankrupt and hurt their ass.
Gentlemen, the thing is, judges have 11th Amendment immunity. That means you can't sue a judge, right? A judge can violate your rights. You can't do nothing. Now, recent Supreme Court decisions have actually changed that. Due to USC 18-241 and 242, conspiracy against rights and deprivation of rights under color of law, in the language of both of those, judges, at that word itself, judges, is in the language, which means you can actually take legal action against a judge for violating your rights. The 241 and 242 of USC, United States Code 18, it gets by their immunity. They have no immunity when it comes to USC 18, 241, and 242. That's how you hold these judges accountable. That's how you nail these judges and get it to where these judges have to start doing things fair too.
Will Wiggins said if it was that simple, why hasn't it happened yet?
Because people don't know that. People don't know this stuff enough.
That's right, Daniel. People don't know this information to even do it.
Hey Daniel, I'm gonna need your friend request so you can inbox me all them numbers, man. That number was like, you blew my mind with all them numbers and codes and sections, man. So you go, hey, listen, Daniel,
I know my shit.
You make sure you send me a friend request, brother, for real. Send me a friend request, and me, you gotta chop that one up because that's a lot of numbers. I'm not trying to break up everybody's convo. But hey,
hit me up on Facebook, my man. Hit me up on Facebook. I'll talk to you on the phone. I'll give you all the information I have. I don't mind helping people out because I feel that because I do understand this to an extent. I feel I'm obligated to help others so that way they don't have to be in my situation because I know how it's made me feel. I'm bald because of this shit. I have a severe eating disorder because of this shit. I have a severe sleeping disorder because of this shit. I fucking it's literally going to fucking kill me. The stress is going to cause me to be in an early fucking grave from a heart attack. I can guarantee you that because my left eye isn't switching all the damn time anymore because of this shit.
Check this out. You want to know?
Hate
You know what to
hearing
kill
that
you?
shit.
I'm paint a picture for you on what exactly happened to me. I won a class action lawsuit. The payout was $100,000. Of course, the lawyer takes $30,000 of that. That's his third.
Mm-hmm.
Child support took $51,500 of that money.
Illegal as fuck.
They gave, get out. Just listen. They gave one child's mother $13,900. They gave another child's mother $9,000. Where the rest of my money go?
In their pockets.
Yeah, in their pockets.
They didn't give me.
But the thing of it
They
is,
didn't even give me a chance to negotiate.
Ain't no
What mother? If I can I just pay off my support? They didn't give me none of that. They did it before I even got my check. You know, my check was $19,900.
Ain't no negotiation when it comes to the courts. Ain't nothing with
That's
y'all
robbery.
Mr.
That's
Dirk,
that's
the thing
state
is,
robbery in its finest.
Mr. Dirk, the thing is, the United
Man, I
States
almost
Supreme
was
Court-
like Ray Caruth, man. I even went and bought the soda and the Cheetos, man. I was about to hide in the trunk of the car, man. I felt like I was gonna do a Ray Caruth, man. I ain't lying.
No,
For
real
about
shit.
48 hours,
Nah,
man, they had
Mr.
to
Dirk,
talk me
the thing
down, man, from doing some of the most ignorant terrorist shit on the planet, man. Because I was like, dude, as soon as I got that 19,900, I was like, what the fuck is this? They told me that 51,000 went. I seen red, man. I lost my mind.
And you know what?
Yeah, that make you want to do some bad shit to somebody for real.
Now, speaking of red, I'm
Hey, look
glad.
at my eyes, man.
Hey, Derek. I'm
You
glad.
see these eyes?
Look, Derek, I'm glad you seeing red because this brother right here that came on, Perfect Blackness, this man has been falsely accused 4 times from his baby mama terrorist. One was being accused of child pornography on the computer. The other one was raping his 3
Oh man.
and the third one was abuse, physical punching his daughter in front of a crowd of people. And the last
Oh my God, man.
Perfect Blackness, go ahead and get on. He's from Chicago as well. I interviewed him twice actually. Now you talk about seeing red. I asked him why he wasn't in jail yet. I did.
no shit.
Hey brother, what's going on?
Hey, what's going
What's
on,
up,
man? What's going on, Mr.
Man.
Holmes? What's going on, fellas?
Oh, speaking of
Man, I'm sorry, man. If I was in your, I probably would have been in jail on that. I'm sorry. Nah, those.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, man.
I'm not in jail right now.
I wouldn't. I would be lying to you if I told you that I seriously didn't contemplate taking a life for the first time of my life. I really did, but I was in a bad place. But I'm better about it now. But yeah, and you know, the fourth one really hasn't even been that really hasn't been adjudicated yet. Actually, we got a court date on the actually they actually threw it out. It got dismissed. So, but she doesn't know that, so she's not giving my daughter until she goes down and see that it's been dismissed. So
That's insane. That's insane.
yeah, and she
Control freak.
Now there's
Control
some things,
freak,
there's
man.
some things in my lawyer because I heard you guys talking about how these lawyers be doing, and I can definitely identify with that because there was some things that my lawyer could have done that would have actually stopped the last one, that will at least prevented the last just this recent one. This recent one was literally just about 2 weeks ago. So and I haven't seen my kids, and I get my kid a lot,
Right.
in terms of the court order and everything. And I spent literally, man, tens of thousands of dollars, between now and the time when my daughter was 1, she's 8, just to stay involved in my daughter's life. So if it was just about paying the child support, everything would be good. But I think I heard somebody saying, because I was listening, I wasn't actually watching, so I don't know who said it. But if it was just about paying the child support, I don't think none of us would have a problem. But it's the fact of wanting to be a part of the child's life and to actually parent the child with the mother. That's the problem. That's when the fuckery comes in. That's when especially you dealing with a woman like my ex-wife, who now hasn't had a successful relationship since us. She hasn't had a boyfriend. She hasn't had a real decent job or anything like that. She's bitter as fuck because my career has ascended and still ascending, and to the extent that she even have a career, but she's had jobs. That shit, it's a source of bitterness, and I've since remarried, and she is really pissed off behind that shit. I think when she found out that I was married, that's when she did this just this last allegation, and it was actually ridiculous because the fact that she can go down and do that. Now, my former lawyer,
Wow.
she didn't
That's
file.
bad.
She didn't right. She didn't file some. She didn't file certain motions that would have prevented her from making these what they call ex parte motions, basically going down and saying, well, I need a restraining order or a temporary restraining order because he did such and such and such and such. Well, because she has a history of making unfounded allegations. I'm not talking about just somebody just saying it. No, these allegations where the police were involved, DCFS got involved, everybody did investigations, medical examinations, all this other type of shit. She has a history of making these allegations and nothing really happening to her. So my former lawyer could have actually made that, done that, but she didn't. And so when I mentioned it to her in an email, she said, "Well, I could, but if you want me to, if you want to retain us on this issue here, see, it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about keeping the men to paying child support. That's all. And it was
hey, Perfect Blackness, I didn't want to interrupt you, bro, but I want to ask you, do you think it's not just about money when she making these allegations, like you said, when you moved on? I sound like to me she trying to ruin you from going on with your life too, meaning she trying to ruin your next relationship from moving on from her.
That's the thing.
When it comes to her, yeah, she's trying to ruin me.
She don't even want the money.
Nobody else
When
can
it
have
comes to the
you. That's
system,
it.
yeah.
I
When it
can't have
comes
you,
to
so
her,
nobody else can have you. It's
when
stupid.
it comes to her, it's exactly right. And she's just a bitter woman, and
that's right.
The courts have given her the weapon and the means, motive, and opportunity to do it. When it comes to the court and the system, it's all about money. It's just all about keeping the man paying child support. That's just the bottom line. Because I've been fighting for 50 times, and I still don't have it. And when I tell people this amount that I've paid over the years in court fees, forget about child support, just in court fees and everything else. Hold on.
I'm getting plenty of messages from my baby mama right now as we speak, my man. Hey, I got baby mama on there telling me my visitations is null because I'm in a different state. Hey, as we talking right now, we done talked up my baby mama on there like, let's just go through with the court thing. I'm like, oh my God, I need a cigarette now.
Oh man, y'all right.
I bet all their ears burning because that money's about to drop out their pocketbook.
I have a question for folks, but it's more so I want to ask it of Perfect Blackness when he come back. So, but I'll ask him again when he come back. But all of you who have baby mamas who are baby mama terrorists who are making these false allegations with the courts, when they're making these allegations, are they putting this shit in writing in their court documents?
I don't. Well, I just seen them signing off on it. I think the judge. In my case, I just seen the judge just like, I guess she like asked her like, well, how much he make? And then she just give him a number and the judge just say, okay, and they just type it down and then just say, okay, now ma'am, they just get the mom to sign on it. They don't go like you said, and I'm with you, Daniel, because I'm with you on that, bro. That like you said, it's no proof of shit. It's no proof. They just said, here, he made this. Now sign right here.
If she stated something falsely under oath, that's perjury. But the reason I was asking about the signing of documents, USC 18 section 1621 relates to documents signed under penalty of perjury. It actually makes it a felony on the federal level, and seeing as it's family law court, which deals with Title 4D funds, they all have to uphold federal guidelines, laws, statutes, and codes. But documents signed under penalty of perjury also section 1746 of Title 28 United States Code. Go and check any information on that, because if these bitches are falsifying documents, then push on the fucking violations of law from the federal side as well as the state side for perjury, for falsifying court documents and everything else. Man, start pushing that. If these courts don't hold these women accountable for this shit, you actually have legal action you can take against the court too for that, because that's the courts violating the law and allowing somebody else to violate the law, which is illegal.
But I want to ask you this. But I'm with you, Daniel. I want to ask you though, like, who do you go to hire to fight for you to do that? Because I heard guys saying I spent $10,000 and he didn't do shit. So, like, I want to, like, who do you go pick out to, you don't you don't get a lawyer. They're all in bed with the courts. A lawyer's only going to fuck you. They're not going to help you. It doesn't look for violations of USC 18-241 and 242. The Supreme Court has said if those violations are in fact happening and everything else, it's got to be proven. The burden of proof is on in my instance on me, because I'm the one bringing the action.
But part of what's got to be done is you have to send notices to the chief judge, to the offending persons, and everything else, and let them know what's going on. Once you send them notice, you only have to give them a little bit amount of a reasonable amount of time, is what they say. A week is reasonable to correct these mistakes before you proceed with the legal action. Once you proceed with the legal action, now, if you look at USC 18, 241, and 242, what you'll see as far as those U.S. codes go is that it's criminal. If you actually start looking into them, you'll see that it has civil and criminal ramifications, which means when that's the case and you can actually pursue a legal action for that, is what you do is you pursue it on the civil side. Don't worry about the criminal side. You go for the civil actions for those violations, deprivation of rights and conspiracy against rights, right? Whenever the civil side is done, if the court, even if it has to go all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, now keep in mind, this is something that could take 5-10 years before it ever comes to its conclusion. But lawsuits against the state aren't quick and they take time. But the thing is, if you take these people, now it may not, now depending on what kind of information you have, what kind of case law you have, it can be a lot quicker. In my case, it's not going to take that long, but it can. There's potential for it to take time because the state's going to try and delay it and everything else because, well, they don't want to pay you shit for violating your rights. They want to get away.
That's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you,
I got a question for you, Daniel.
Hold on, let me finish with Mr. Daniel, and I'll see what you're saying. If you follow through with the lawsuit for 18, 241 and 242, and the judge and the courts end up ruling in your favor, the state will then go back, as well as the federal government will go back and look at the violations of rights, and they will pick up the criminal charges on it. Violations of 18, 241, and 242, depending on the severity, can come with the death penalty for punishments. It's some serious shit. It's not.
I didn't know that, bro.
It can be a misdemeanor to where it's less than a year in jail. It could be fucking felony to where it's more than a year in jail. It can even be life in prison. It can even be the death penalty for guilty verdicts of 241 or 242. When you have both together, which is typically going to be the case, it makes it even worse.
Hey, check it out.
It depends on what you know and how far you're willing to fight it.
Look, hey, Will say Will didn't know about the federal government funding the state, with that quote every year, what they make off child support. That's been going on. That's how the state get their money. Federally funded.
Yep, which is why federal codes, federal statutes, and federal laws and federal case law all applies to family law because they get federal funding. Child support, family law, CPS, DCYF, dependency courts, all of that shit, they get federal funding, which means they are required by federal law to uphold federal guidelines and rules. That's the thing. They won't tell you this. They'll straight tell you they don't have to uphold federal anything. Bullshit. They're fucking lying to you, which is they're allowed to legally do. They're full of shit. Federal automatically applies, especially even if it's a court where federal doesn't typically apply. The instant there's a violation of any of your rights, it automatically invokes every fucking federal law, rule, statute, and code in this country. All of it applies when it's a violation of rights. It doesn't matter if it's city level. It automatically moves to the federal or to the federal statutes and that being applied to it if it's a violation of rights. And when it comes to family law, it's violations of rights. It's a deprivation of rights under color of law. Period.
Daniel,
and I'm gonna have to get.
What attorney told me that when I went to court, when I seen a commissioner, I didn't need an attorney. When I actually went to court in front of that judge, the judge was supposed to offer me an option to have an attorney present before he said anything. I never got that.
They're not going.
I never got that. He said because now you're in a court of law.
But it's your responsibility to know your rights, and it's your responsibility to assert your rights to these courtrooms. Now, it is the court's responsibility to uphold your rights once you inform them that you're aware of your rights. They're not going to do it in family law or child support.
Well, they don't do that for the women. They don't do that for the women. All kinds of stuff automatically just comes right.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When they don't, when you assert your rights and they still violate them, then it's on record. See, the thing is where people make a mistake is people don't appeal often enough. You can appeal any family law, any child support decision in any court in this country. You can send it to the appellate courts. But the thing is, whenever you're filling out the documents to submit with your appeal, you're only allowed so much space to include new information. That's why it's important when you're in court for the family law shit, get as much fucking information on the record as you can. Get as many of your rights on the record as you can. Get as many violations of your rights on the record as you can. That way, when it comes to the appeal, you ain't got to see really. They've already got all the information. They do a quick glance at it and see, oh shit, they've been violating this rights. Now we got to overturn this. Now, also with the appeal, when you file an appeal, don't file it for don't file it under you're just wanting an appeal. Make sure that you file it for a jurisdiction issue if you can prove it's a jurisdictional issue. If not, file your appeal for a civil rights violation. Why do you use those two specific things? When you use those two specific things for the reason for the appeal, it moves your case file from the bottom of the appellate pile towards the top. Because they're going to look at civil rights cases before they look at other cases. They're going to look at jurisdictional challenges before they look at other cases. That's why you got to make sure yours is in the right way. That way it gets looked at even quicker in the appeals court. It's all in the wording. You just got to know how to play their game with them. But if you don't want to play their game, if you don't understand how to play their game, you have other options as well.
Check this out. Takato say he stuck paying child support for 2 kids that is not biologically his. Is you in Michigan, bro? That sounds like a Michigan. Because Michigan definitely the kings of that. Is that Michigan?
Yeah, but the thing is, if they're not biologically his, did he sign the birth certificates? If not, I'd get that shit back in court and I'd get all your fucking money back because every penny you've ever paid, it was all illegally taken. It was all fraudulently taken. It was legit theft in your case. Since they're not your kids, you have a massive lawsuit and can get all that money back. You can even hem her up for fucking fraud. Yeah, that's real. You can even get her hemmed up for fraud. Oh, yes, that is a fucking thing.
And that's actually fraud.
They don't want to tell you this because then it busts their whole fucking narrative wide open. It busts their whole fucking scheme wide open. So they're not telling you this, but you have options. They won't give you your options. You are responsible to know them. You're responsible to assert your rights. Now, if you look at judicial canons, which is what basically the rules for any judge, judicial canon number 1 will tell you what is the judge's primary responsibility, a commissioner's primary responsibility as well. Their first obligation is to uphold the rule of law. It doesn't specify state or federal. That's the catch. That's where they get you. State case law over federal. That's why when you show up to court for this bullshit, for child support, for custody, for any of that bullshit, don't show up with state case law. State case law means not a fucking thing. Show up with federal. Fuck their state laws. Fuck their state case law.
Yeah, because state laws rigged. Yeah, they all rigged for them to win.
Show up with appellate court, federal appellate court. Show up with district court case law. Show up with Supreme case law. They have to uphold that before they uphold state laws. Federal supersedes state. Supreme Court is the top, which means if you start talking about Supreme Court case law, all their state case law goes right out the fucking window. Every bit of it goes right out the fucking window. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it all makes sense too, because like you're saying, it's all fraud, and we can go prove with the paperwork that it's not true, and it's and they just made up numbers. Most of the numbers are falsified documents.
Yep. I sent Mr. Palmer a document yesterday. It's a demand to dismiss quorum non judica, and what it is basically it's something that I'll be submitting to the courts whenever it gets to that point in my specific case now, because my baby mama's always been a flight risk. You know what I'm saying? Anytime the courts start giving me access to my daughter, she bails the fucking state, flees jurisdiction. I got to track her down and locate her again to try and get it back going. Well, thanks to her criminal conviction, she's not allowed to leave the state of Washington. There's only 5 counties she's allowed to travel into. She can't even leave those 5 counties in the state of Washington, right? Pierce County is where it all happened at. The arrest took place. They was living in Spanaway when they got arrested. Spanaway, Washington. But she can't leave, so now she's there. So now I'm going to actually be able to get the child support and everything back in court and get it corrected. The demand to dismiss is what it states is basically all these judges that are issuing these child support orders, they're all receiving Title 4D funds. All these judges get Title 4D funds. It's where their paychecks come from. It's where their bonuses come from. Is the federal money that they get for child support. Now,
I didn't know that.
Since they're collecting, since their paychecks come from these federal funds, it's automatically a conflict of interest. Why? Because they have reason to screw you over because it directly affects their paychecks. Now, as such, it's a conflict of interest, but it also means that they're a witness. The Supreme Court has upheld this. Those judges are a witness in the case. They have no authority to make judicial rulings as a witness. You need a judge that does not collect Title 4D funds in order for a child support order to be legally binding. But with child support, you still have your due process rights, and the burden of proof is on them, not you. It's all a fucking game. It really is. You just have to know how to play their game their way, because it is their game. Let's be honest. It's not ours. It's their fucking game. They make
that's
the
right.
rules. It's their game. They control all the fucking money and everything, all the pieces, all the property, and all that shit. You just have to know. You just have to know how to play by their rules, so that way you can get what you deserve and what you have coming and what your rights say you get while playing their game. Even if you don't want to play that game, you have other options, but then you have to declare yourself as a sovereign citizen, and then the FBI might start looking at you and everything else. But if you don't want to play their game, you're a man first and foremost, are you not? You're not a father, you're not a parent, you're a man. You're not Mr. whatever your name is, like Mr. Palmer, we'll use him. He's not Mr. Palmer, no. He's a man, not Mr. Palmer, a man. As such, can they violate the rights of a man, the God-given rights of a man? No, they cannot.
No, they cannot.
They cannot violate your God-given rights as a man. But that's if you declare yourself
true.
sovereign. But then you got to be an idiot in legalese for that. And all of us are idiots in legalese. We didn't go to law school. So, I mean, you have multiple options. Multiple avenues you can take to approach this. It just depends on which method you want to go about doing it.
Right.
Any of which can get you every bit of your fucking money back from these people. And the state's responsible for paying you back, not the baby mama. It's the state who stole your shit, not the baby mama. She might have been the one that went to the state to get them to do it, but she's not the one garnishing your paychecks. That's the state perpetrating that fraud against you. That's the government.
That's why I say, it's definitely the state. The baby mama Terry just opened that door. You know, that's their right.
That's right.
That's their right.
Yeah, the baby mama Terry is just really going down there setting the fuel to the flame.
Yep.
That's all.
But it's the state, it's the government that's violating your rights and committing that theft of your property. That's
With the-
who you
with
go
the-
for. That's who you take
Yeah,
your
with
action
the-
for,
that's right.
baby mama.
Well,
You
well, I
don't go
mean,
after
see,
the baby mama for nothing. You go after the state, the government, you go for the ones who's actually taking that shit from you. The baby mama ain't keeping that kid from you. She's not the one who signed that court order. The judge signed that court order. The government signed that court order.
That's true.
who you go after.
But the baby
Yeah,
mama,
the baby mama terrorists might have lied and all that bullshit. I'm not saying baby mama terrorists are innocent, but they're not the ones who's signing this order that's making it legal binding. That's the judge and the state and the government signing these orders.
Let me tell you something.
I got
well, Mr. Daniel, I don't know about that, Mr. Daniel. I'm saying, because what me and Mr. Palmer mostly saying is, I get what you're saying with the government, but that's secondary. That's not first. Like the woman don't have to go to these people, and she's going. So that's what me and Mr. Palmer is addressing on. She's going down there without the government coming to her. The government not coming to knock on her door.
See, the thing is, to fix the problem, you got to go into the source, which is the government. But we talking about these baby mama terrorists that run. They don't put a gun to their head and say, take them to court. They make that.
No, they don't.
Run to the court.
And I agree, the baby mama terrorists are part of the problem. But at the end of the day, who's the one that signed that order from the courts? It's not the baby mama terrorists. Yeah, the baby mama terrorists need to be held accountable. I don't argue with that. I'll be the first to tell you these bitches need to be held accountable.
That's the problem.
But the thing is,
child support is 100% voluntary.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say to you, Mr. Daniel. She went down there and said, go after him. She said, go get him, go sick him. She sicked him. That's the woman. That's what me and Mr. Palmer said about the baby mama. The baby mama is using the state as her attack dog, as her corporate attack dog. Now she's going down saying, Mr. Government, Mr. State, can you please go pursue the father of my children? I know you're not coming to me asking, but I would like you to go get him for you myself. And that's what we're addressing. But I get what you're saying, Mr. Daniel. After she does that, now the government comes in.
Yeah.
But the
government's the one that's signing the order. The baby mama has no legal authority to sign that order herself. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say the legal actions need to be against the state.
Against the state.
If you can. But the state is the government. They're the ones who signed the order. Yeah, the baby mama terrorist put you in that spot. She went to the court and everything else. She's the cause of it, but she's not the one who actually signed that order. The judge
I get what you mean. I get what you're saying, Mr. Daniel. You saying she not the person who set up the system. Like she not the, yeah. I get what you're saying, Mr. Daniel. Yeah.
She's just the one who lied and fucking abused the and abused
Check this out.
And abused it.
Check this out, though. Check this out, y'all. We got Adam in the building. He been waiting to get on for a minute. I didn't know. This is my first time having multiple people at one time. The max is 6. Adam, how you doing, brother? Where you from?
I'm good. I'm from Jersey, man.
Oh, you from the East Coast, Jersey, my man.
Yeah. I'm way on the East Coast. You know, I'm listening to you guys. It's the same everywhere.
Oh yeah,
you know?
everywhere, bro.
The story's the same. But
yeah,
it's important.
Same story, different name.
It's important that we educate ourselves. And Daniel's on the right course. I've been listening in, and you know, I listen to everybody, you know, because everybody's story is different with the same ending. You know what I mean? They still want us to pay and whatnot. But like I said, child support is 100% voluntary, unless she's on TANF or something like that. Right. Then the state takes over.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically.
You know.
Right.
But you know, I pay over $600 a week. You know.
A week.
Damn. I pay $463 for one child. But, you know, granted, I heard you say, Daniel, like 17 years you've been fighting it. My son's about to be 20. And just not these past couple years, I gotten educated. I've educated myself, gotten a little smarter, and found out about this. This is all fraud, man.
It is.
It's complete fraud.
Complete fraud.
You don't have to give consent. You have the right to due process. You don't have to sign anything. Because once you sign it, it becomes a contract.
Yep.
Right.
Even when you show up.
And we don't know this. And the thing is, we don't know this in the beginning. I didn't know.
I didn't either. Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't have no clue.
Once you sign that little electronic pad, you do not do that.
No, don't sign shit. Don't agree. Don't agree to nothing. Don't sign shit.
Do not give consent. Okay, do not give consent because you know it's hard, man. It's rough out here, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. This court system, and you dress them as judges. They're not judges. You have to challenge the magistrate. Where's your oath of office?
Yep.
Oath of office. Everybody takes it. Police officers and judges do too.
Yep. All people like that do. They have an oath, and their oath is to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Listen, it's part of the Constitution.
Yo, hey,
I'm prior service military. I've taken that oath. You know what the oath is? My oath for the military, which is the same as the judges and the police officers, I use my name for. I, Daniel Gaines, do solemnly swear to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. That's the oath that's taken.
Hey, look, before we continue on,
not anybody else.
Hey, look,
not the government, anything. The Constitution.
Hey, look, before we continue on, read what it says. Lee says, my baby mama Tez has to pay me now. There's hope, fellas. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
That's the rare occasion. I don't guess there's hope.
But guess what I found out?
I don't know about all that. That is hope. Only hope is stop fucking with these American women. That's your hope.
Well, that too.
Guess what I found out? That there's a statute of limitations on arrears.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
that.
There
is.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
In New Jersey, it's 5 years past the age of emancipation.
Yep.
Is it?
Yep. All states have a statute of limitations. It's just the thing is, the child has to be of a certain age, and it has to be so many years past that age. A lot of states, it's going to be emancipation age, or it's going to be adulthood, which is 18. Emancipation in most states is 17, but at worst, at 18, 5 years past that, all the arrears, you can get it tossed because it's outside of statute of limitations. They can't come after you. They can't threaten you. They can't take your shit. Nothing.
Let me ask you this. Well, I be hearing about so many people who even say their own father 70 years old. Matter of fact, somebody said it on last thing, 70 years old, and he's still paying child support for 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds going to the mother.
Because he's got to take it to court. He needs to be the one to take it to court and get it thrown out and dropped. He has to do that.
They're not going to come. They're not going to come.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Daniel. They'll just keep on deducting and keep deducting.
Yeah, they're gonna keep taking your shit and keep stealing. They're gonna keep up the theft of your property as long as you allow them. But that's
God damn it, man.
as long as you allow them.
Child support ain't gonna do nothing to help you. So of course you gotta do it yourself.
Exactly.
Do it yourself.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
If that man's paying for grown ass adults still in child support, now take that shit to court, my brother. Get that shit tossed the fuck out and get your damn money back because they're fucking you royally, and that's all fucking illegal.
Let me ask
straight up illegal as fuck.
Give me an example. Like, is this after the kid is over 18, or
okay? Say for example, next month my daughter will be 17, as I've stated, right?
Right.
So next month my daughter's 17 in the state of Washington, which is where my daughter resides at now. Emancipation is 17 in the state of Washington, okay? So at 17, I need 5 years from that point, which means on the day of my daughter's 22nd birthday, I can go to the state, get the documents filed with the court for all the arrears that I owe, and get all of that wiped out because it's no longer within the statute of limitations, which means they can no longer come after me for that money.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, funny you just said that. Now, this brother Michael Woodridge, he says his son is 21. He's still paying child support. He tried to settle out. Of course, the baby mama Ted says no. If he takes off the interest, I will have to pay her. I'm just paying rearage.
You never settle.
Don't settle. Michael, let me ask you this. Is your 21-year-old in college? That's the biggest question, because if they're in college, then technically, yeah, they can still make you pay until they're done with college.
Yeah, they can extend it to 22 here in Texas. If your son or daughter go to college in Texas, they'll extend it to 18 to 22, and you still have to.
They can extend it to 30 years old if the kid's in college the entire time as a
I didn't know that.
Student.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean now. Okay then. As long as they active in college.
Yeah, as long as they're in college,
but they have to be going full time.
Full time, yes.
It's got to be 12 credits.
Right.
Yes.
But
it has to be full time. But if it's full time, they can go to college for 15 years and you still have to pay as long as they're full time students for that whole time.
Oh man, that's fucked up, man. I didn't know that, Daniel. You just educated me on that one, Daniel. I didn't know that, man.
I believe
he said
in his state of New Jersey, they have to go to school in New Jersey. In New Jersey here, they have to go to school in this state.
Hold on, Michael said no, they not in college. So what can he do?
So then, if you said you owe arrears, what state are you in?
Yeah,
what's the age of emancipation in your state? Those are two very important questions. What state and what's the age of emancipation? If the age of emancipation in your state is 17, right? Say it's 17 for the age of emancipation in your state, like Mr. Adams said, for his state. Once your son, I think it was a son, he said, but either way, once your child, the day of your child's 22nd birthday, if the emancipation age is 17, the day of your child's 17th birthday, go to the fucking courthouse, file the shit to get it tossed out because it's outside of statute of limitations.
Okay, look.
Shit to the courts, get it done.
His kids in California, a screw state for man, one of the meccas of fuck dads, Cali.
Don't matter. Still have to uphold federal guidelines. It's child support related. They have to uphold federal laws, rules, statutes, codes, all of that shit.
So by his son being 21, he's not in college. He can go right now and get them rears eliminated.
No, he would have to wait until the statute of limitations is up, which would be if California's emancipation age is 17, he would have to wait till the day of his child's 22nd birthday, because that would be 5 years. And the day of his child's 22nd birthday, from that point on, it's all outside the statute of limitations.
How can he search that? Can he Google it? Can he search it?
Yeah, you should be able to Google states statute of limits age
child
of
support.
Well, no, age of
That's how I found out on Google.
Yeah, I mean, Google's your best friend. Google Scholar will help out a lot, all that shit.
Okay, what did he type?
The age of emancipation. That's the phrase I was looking for. Google age of emancipation in California.
Okay.
That should give you the answer right there.
You heard
arrears.
You heard that?
Arrears.
Yeah, it's only for arrears. Current and arrears you still have to pay, but arrears has a statute of limitations.
Right. Just rearage. That's all we talking about, rearage now.
Just arrears. Yep.
Now, Danny said, "What's the what about in Texas? What's the emancipation in Texas?"
It's different. You got to look it up.
Most states
that's 17. It's
Most states are
17.
going to be 17.
It's 17. I'm from Dallas, Texas. It's 17.
Illinois,
Okay, there you go. Confirmed.
Illinois, where I'm from, is 18. 18.
Yeah, but
Illinois is
See,
18.
Yeah,
You
it's
wanna
either going to
find-
be
you want-
17 or 18.
Yeah.
you want to find out the tenure of it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because
Mhm.
here, because here it's 5 years. In Jersey, it's 5 years after emancipation. In New York, it's 20. So
What?
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. Because hey, Mr. Adam, because just recently they changed the law here with the tobacco. Usually it used to be 18 in Texas. I think they moved that up to 21. So I wouldn't be surprised if they
They did
altered
that
any
across
other
the country.
laws too, as far as just
The whole
age,
You know that why
Oh, the whole country. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
you know
Yeah,
why
I thought it was
they
state by
changed that
state.
on the federal law. That was the federal government that changed the smoking age to 21. It's all
Oh, that was a
states.
federal law. Okay, then that was a federal move.
That was
Okay,
the
then.
feds that did that, not the states.
But you know
Oh,
what
okay, okay.
they want to keep their money in the cookie jar. So of course they're gonna raise the age and everything else. Shit.
Yeah,
You know, so
I don't agree with that because I mean, I went in the military. I was 18 years old when I enlisted in the military, right? They're
right.
telling me like if I was 18 and went in now, I wouldn't be able to have a cigarette. I'm a smoker. I wouldn't be able to have a beer, but I can go die for this country. Get the fuck out of here with that,
Yeah.
man. That's
Nah.
bullshit.
You can carry an M16 when you like a fresh, almost about to be 18. You can have an M16
Yeah,
at the
Hey,
age,
but you
it's
can't
like
have
at
a beer.
17 and a half.
y'all, check it out,
But you
y'all.
can't have a beer.
Hey, I want y'all to read.
Yeah.
Hey, Ricky said my dad's still paying child support on us all the way time we're past 30 years old. Shake my head. I was even giving him money for we were close till he died 3 years later after he paid it all out. I myself pay child support to 2 females that manipulate the system. See what I mean about these baby mama tears whores? See what I mean?
Yeah, and they're gonna do it.
No. No,
They're
that's what
gonna
I'm saying. What I'm saying is your own mama is a baby mama tears. I'm saying when I tell people a baby mama tears coming off form, your own grandma can be one, your own mama. You don't even realize it till you get grown, going through the situation, or when you finally talk to your dad and he show you the proof and you see for yourself. You don't know because you manipulated. Your mama's a good mom. She buying you everything, treating you like a king, doing everything for you. But you don't realize till you either go through it or till you start thinking for yourself and see the light. And that's why I try to tell you. I tell men all the time, if you want to know if you're dealing with a baby mama tears in your family or your ex or whoever, your girlfriend, whatever, talk about child support. Talk about the situation. And
That's right.
That baby
And
mama
when they
tears
go
can be
against
your
you,
mama. It can be
Hey,
your
hey, you
grandmama,
guys
it
out
can
there,
be
you
your
gonna
sister.
find out fast.
you're
You gonna find out fast what side she on.
Right.
Look, it's like this, Mr. Palmer. It's like
Yeah.
this. A baby mama tears can be your mama. It can be your grandmama. It
It
can
don't
be your
matter.
sister. It could even
It don't
turn out to be your own fucking daughter at some point. That's a baby
Yeah,
mama
it don't
terrorist.
matter. It don't
It
matter.
don't matter.
Don't
Any woman has an opportunity
Now
to
look.
be that. I mean, unfortunately, the system's set up for us as men to fail because of them. Because women, if you notice, whenever you go through custody hearings and all that shit, child support hearings and stuff like that, if you're trying to get a woman to relinquish custody, you're trying to take custody from a woman and everything, all her due process rights are applied. You have to have proof. You have to have proof of your proof. You have to have proof of your proof of your proof. And then
Michael,
even more proof that it's all true and everything else.
check this out.
Now, that's upholding a woman's due process rights. Now, whenever a woman wants to go in there and try to hem up a dad, all she's got to say is, oh, he said a swear word. Oh,
Right.
well, then in that case, you're not allowed to be a father.
Right.
Where's our
They're
due process?
gonna give you supervision
Yeah.
because you said a curse word. Now,
Yeah.
now Michael just posted. He said what's killing him is the rears, and he said that she won't take it off. A baby mama tears ain't take you off
She's
nothing.
not.
Even if they don't
She's
get
not.
listen, even if all that money going to the state, she gonna long as she know you suffering, she's not taking you off. Don't even talk. You can't negotiate with a baby mama terrorist. You can't
You really
coach with
can't.
a baby mama terrorist. You know what I'm
You
saying?
really can't.
Don't even waste your time talking to her because all it's gonna do is make you mad and make you want to hurt her or whatever. Stay away from it.
Yeah, that's me. That's me right there, Mr. Palmer. Ready to hurt her.
You like
Y'all want some good advice?
hold on, like Daniel just told you, go on there, find out that the age limit, go ahead and get rid of your ridge on your own. Fuck her.
Now, some advice that I could give, and I will give because it needs to be stated, and it really will help you better in court than a lot of other things. If a agreement can be reached between the parents outside of court, try to do that.
If you can.
You need to.
If you can.
need to. No, if you can, obviously,
If
yeah.
you can.
But you need to approach the baby mama terrorist and try to work something out between you. Why do you do that? Because then that shows the courts that you're trying to resolve conflict. It also informs the courts they're bringing conflict, continuing conflict, which will help your cause in the end.
Right.
But you got to understand something too, Mr. Daniel. Now I'm with you, Daniel. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% here. But you got to understand that the courts are going to be on some. No, man, we need this. You got to understand the courts need this to thrive off of.
Yes.
So they're not going to be so quick to. They kind of like this. They kind of like that though.
The courts,
if you know what I mean.
Over the conflict. But the thing is, if you go in there doing everything right, you dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's, and they still fuck you, that's whenever it just strengthens your legal action against them. That's why I say these things like this.
Right.
Do everything right on your part, because they're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day, regardless of what you've done. It don't matter. So your best bet, do everything right on your end.
Check this
they're
out.
going to fuck you or they're not. If they do, bam, sue the fuck out of them.
Check this out.
That's true. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Daniel. I see what you mean, Daniel. Set them up for their own kill.
Hey, yeah,
exactly. Set them up.
Check this out.
Play their game with them, but play it better.
Yeah, check this out.
I'm with you on that.
Jennifer, she's going through the situation. She basically got her baby daddy terrorist. She's been alienated for 3 years, and it sucks. It's women that do have baby daddy terrorists against like I tell you, it's majority men. That's why I support the men. But I do have some women on my page that pay child support or that's alienated because of fair relationship as well. And there are females that's going through the same situation, getting treated like men. It's definitely unfortunate. And if any female want to do a interview about that, I'd definitely be happy to talk about it. That need to be out, definitely be talked about as well, because there are some mothers who are getting treated just like men as well. So you know.
But Daniel mentioned it earlier, man. 3 words: burden of proof.
Yep. And my response to Jennifer, everything I say, Miss Jennifer, everything I've said as far as telling these fathers what they should do, it applies to you too, hon. Don't take no offense to that. I call females, hon. That's how I speak. But it really does apply to you too, because if you've been screwed over, they're violating your rights too.
Okay.
So it don't matter. It don't matter if it's male or female who's on the receiving end of the abuse. They're violating your rights all the same.
Right.
And the best part is, you know what the best part of all this is? I can take all the case law I have, right? Every fucking bit of the case law, every bit of the information I have, 100% of everything I have, I can straight give to my ex-wife, my baby mama terrorist attorney right now. I can give it all to him. It ain't going to help him at all in court. Not one fucking bit. All it's going to do is show them how much they've been violating my rights, and it's going to screw them even more.
Let me ask y'all. Hey, Bobby got a question. He want to know, can they legally pierce his corporate? Can they garnish his money from his corporate? I don't think they can.
Is he talking about LLC?
Yeah, if it's LLC, I don't think they can.
Yes, they can.
They can?
They can, and they will.
Oh my God, man! Don't tell me this, man.
You know what? Let me ask you this.
I'm not saying it's legal.
Listen,
and there's ways around it, but they will do it.
Wait a minute.
Now, I'm with you, Daniel. I'm hearing you, Daniel.
How about this? Now, I do know for a fact you got EIN number. If you have that corporation under your name as the head, they can do it on your taxes.
Yep.
So you have to put
it. They can also do it out of your paychecks that you get too. But if you have an LLC, they're going to want your gains and losses information. They're going to want bank statements. They're going to want a few years worth of tax returns from the LLC and all of that. And then they're going to adjust your amount based off of that information. And then that's what you're going to have to pay a month. And what it is it don't matter if it's more than what you're giving yourself in a paycheck or not. It's all going to be based on what the company makes, not what you get, but what the company makes.
And you know what? This is where I come in. When it comes to that, what you do, your corporation, you put in somebody else's name and let them pay you $100 a week and do it that way. Here's the thing. I know that for a fact. If you got your own corporation, you got your own EIN number, that's good. But how they get you that you pay yourself $200 a week, but they know your company making $100,000. They're gonna say, who the head? That's you. Oh, we taking that. So you put in your mama name, your wife name, whoever you trust. Let them run the company, and then let them pay you on a weekly basis, whatever. And then they can't go against your company. They only go against what you pay yourself.
Then they can only go against your paychecks.
Right.
And then it reduces your amount, all that extra money that's coming into your wife. Your wife being the head of the company, it's still household income. You still can do whatever the fuck you want with that money because you still have access to it like it's yours.
That's how you do that, bro. I know that for a fact. That's how you
Yep.
do that. So now remember, y'all, if you got an EIN number, you got your own corporation, and you the president, you the CEO. They're gonna check your taxes, and even though you pay yourself $100, they still gonna get you on that ground. So put that, make somebody else the CEO, make somebody else the president. See, I do that. You know,
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I see that. I understand that.
and
Yeah,
then
that's smart.
Palmer's right.
and check this out.
That's some boss move right there.
It is boss. You give it to your wife, you don't trust her, or you never know, because they flip it be a baby mama tears if they break up. You write a simple contract, get it notarized, anything happen, blah, blah, blah. This is what you do. Or
Yeah, you got to protect your ass.
So just
I learned something else today, and I got to get more clarity on it because I didn't finish watching it. But it was for as far as debtors' prison is concerned, and a debt in itself. And it was saying that you don't own that Social Security number.
You don't.
No,
you don't.
It was just given to you. So when they put liens and stuff on you, that's not to you. That's to that.
No,
I don't own that
that's
number.
the government.
Right.
Just like if you look at a Black's Law dictionary too, right? Look up like a court order is what causes you to pay child support, right? Right? It's a court order.
Right.
When someone places an order, who's responsible of paying for said order? The one who places the order, right? I can't go to McDonald's, place an order, and make Mr. Palmer pay for it whenever he's not there, whenever it has nothing to do with him. I can't place an order and expect somebody else to pay for it. When I place an order, I am financially responsible. And as far as the state's ordering you to pay, if a state orders you to pay, are you military? The military receives orders, not private citizens.
It's true.
Another thing is, you know what?
They issue an order, they're financially responsible for said obligation in the order because they're placing the order. Look it up. Use a Black's Law dictionary. Check into it. I'm speaking fact.
You know what? Hey, next time I do a live, we're gonna talk about use your EIN number as your Social Security number and start your own business. So it's ways for them to take less money and how to do it. Because the only reason why I ain't talk about it because I was trying to wait on certain things to come on. But a smart move is to start your own corporation, but don't put in your name. Put in somebody else's name, because even though it's in your name, you the president, and you paying yourself $100, they're gonna see you making $50,000 or $100,000. They're gonna go off that gross with you on your taxes. You have to put in somebody else's name. You cannot be the CEO, the head. You gotta find somebody you can trust, whether it's your son, your daughter, your wife, your girl, whoever, your mother. You do it that way, and then you'll win. Now they can't go into her account and check her shit. It's about you. Even if you're married, they can't touch unless it's one of them states that go by both incomes as one. You know the way around that, Mr. Palmer?
Yeah. You want to know the way around that?
What?
You don't got to be married to be in a relationship with somebody.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'll just use my cousin. I got a blood cousin right now. He clean. He don't have no kids. He don't have no bad credit. He don't have none of that. I can use his name and make him the CEO. He don't even know.
It doesn't matter.
See, the thing is, me and my old lady, the woman that I'm with now, me and her's been together for a decade now. Straight up, we've been together for a decade. We ain't never going. She's got a ring. She's got a.
Hey, shout out to John.
But we ain't never gonna get married. Why? Because if we get married, then they can try and come after her income.
That's right, legally. Legally, yes.
Legally,
because she connected to you legally.
If we just stay together without being married, they can't touch her shit at all.
Check this out.
They can't touch her at all. Yeah, that's right.
They used to do it in Illinois, but they stopped in 2014.
You can be married without the paperwork. People just don't want to do it that way because they don't. Because society lied and told people that that's not considered, paperwork official.
Man, fuck that shit.
It's business,
but the paperwork official is what gets you fucked over officially.
That's just
it's a business like anything else. It's a business.
That's right. That's right, Adam.
But look, guys, I don't have a piece of paper. I don't have a piece of paper that says I know the laws, but clearly I know what I'm talking about to some extent. But I don't have a piece of paper that says that's according to society. I don't know shit.
You can look at, but you could Google it and look that up if your state honor that as one bullshit to get your child support from the wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my Illinois stopped it in 2014. Where if you married, they go by both incomes. They don't do it here no more. I guess the public made a big stink about it. They got rid of it. So
I think Texas still do it. I'm not sure. I have to check.
They don't do it no more. See, we gotta, like you said, Daniel, we gotta start trying to look up and research.
That's right.
To find out a lot of things so you can prevent that baby mama terrorists and the courts from getting extra money.
Because state by state, because like you say, Daniel, state by state vary.
It
Yeah,
varies.
it varies by states. However, when
Yeah.
it comes to child support and shit, all states have to comply with federal guidelines. That's not to say that they can't tweak things and everything else, but as long as the overall premise of each and every one of those federal guidelines is met, they can do whatever they want to do. One thing they can't do, like Perfect Black was on here earlier, or no, it wasn't
Yeah.
Perfect Black. It was the other guy that was talking about he got that $100,000 settlement. They took 51
Oh,
grand
you
of it
talking
for
about
child support.
you talking about
That's illegal as fuck. They cannot,
Mark,
yeah,
yeah.
Mr. Derek. They
You
cannot
Mark,
touch
Mark,
more than
Mark.
50% of
Yeah,
the
that's
net.
illegal. They
Even
stole
on a
from him. That's
settlement,
robbery.
Well, you heard him
even
say
on a
he's gonna
settlement,
break the roof.
even on a settlement like that,
Yeah,
even
even
on
on
a
the settlement,
civil
that's
lawsuit
robbery.
or a
Yeah, that's
settlement or anything,
robbery.
they can only touch 50% at most. The fact that they took more than that, the fact that they took 51+%, nah, he should have sued the fuck out of him instantly for that. He would have got every penny of it back plus a lot more.
That's why you wanted to do the Ray Caruth.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's what made him.
Bobby said they call it your common law wife. If she ain't
Yeah.
married to you, it doesn't matter. They can't take nothing.
Yeah, they can call it. Hey, they can call it what they want to call it, but legal
They can- yeah.
paperwork wise, they can't get no paper
Exactly.
from it.
They
It's
cannot get
not
nothing from
a
her.
legal binding contract unless there's that piece of paper signed by a judge saying it's a legal binding contract. Until then, they can call it they can call it a Teletubby, they can call it a fucking Martian for all I give a fuck. It don't mean a damn thing. They can kiss your ass on that, and you can tell them that with a smile on your face, and they can't do shit.
But
Sit
get
there
mad.
and say, well, damn, this
Legally,
sucks.
yeah, illegally, if she's not on the paperwork, illegally in the courts as my wife, they cannot go after her.
Exactly. Common
They can't
law
go
don't
after
mean
her.
shit.
Yeah, common law legally they can't get anything. Now I heard something now. Well, they did try to change that though, Daniel. I think that's what Bobby might have been mentioning on about something with if it's common wife, girlfriend or whatever. And let's say if you move with her or you stay with her and then you try to like leave her or take something from her, they can come after you for something like that. I'm not sure, but I think you have to be you have to be residents with each other too also.
That's
Different. Yeah, that's different though. That's different.
Yeah, that's
that
not
common
in
law
regards to child support and shit though. They
Yeah,
cannot
that's what
go
I was saying,
after
yeah.
somebody without a legal marriage. They cannot go after your significant other for child support that you owe unless
That's
there's
right.
a legal marriage. And then, even then, for them to do it, they have to. It depends on the state and if the state laws allow it. But then, even if your state laws does allow it and they take money from your significant other through child support, all you got to do is have her file injured spouse and you'll get it back.
That's what I told people.
Especially if there's other children in the home.
Yeah, that was going on with the stimulus pack when people lost their stimulus. The wife can file, like you say, file injury or whatever, and they'll get the money back, half of
Injured spouse.
Yeah.
they'll get half of it back.
Yeah.
Actually, if with injured spouse, if you actually wanted to push and take it to court, you'd be able to get every bit of it back if there's other children in the home, because that money was to keep bills paid, to make sure your kids are fed and everything else. That money was to help your household, not you specifically, but the household as a whole. As such, if you really want to push for the injured spouse, you can push to get every bit of it back if there's minor children in the home, because every dime that they don't give you, that's actually affecting the minor children in the home. The courts can't say that they're working for the best interest of a child if they're actively costing another child.
Now, Jennifer say in Kansas, whether you legally married or not, the IRS will take your shit. That's some bullshit.
That's illegal as fuck.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but I understand what Jennifer's saying. Some states do use that. They'll say, well, you don't have to be married. You just have to be living with her for 2 years or a year or however long, 6 months. We know state by state varies. Some states say 6 months. Some states say 90 days. Some states say 180 days. So, it all
But
depends.
it's all a violation of federal guidelines. Every bit of it. If you're not married and they take anything from your spouse, it's a violation of federal guidelines, which means it's a violation
That's
of
true.
federal law, which means it's illegal as hell, which means it's actionable, which means the judge can actually go to jail for fraud and theft, violating federal
That's right.
law. Hey, there's all kinds of shit that can go on with that. You have to be the one to pursue the actions for it. They're not going to turn themselves in. You have to be the one to do it.
So, question, Adam, is you currently paying child support? Are you done, or did you pay bridge, or what's your situation?
Yeah, I'm still currently paying child support for my son. He's 19 because he did go to college. I went to court for that.
Okay.
And his mother threw him in some college.
She threw him in there. She didn't want him to go. She want that money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she just wants the money.
Yeah, this ain't about
It ain't about no education. It's about how can I
It's not
save
about no
you guys
education. This is not about education, folks. This is not about school, folks.
Right.
She signed him up, and I told the judge, I know my son. I says, because I do construction. I mean, you in construction work. I says, I got a hard hat waiting for him. I said, all you gotta do is come. He said, yeah, well, every child deserves, the right to extra education, I said, true indeed. And so she said, let's try it. I said, okay. I said, fine. But I know my son. My son called me like 2 months into it. Dad, I need your help. I said, yeah? Yeah, I got to pay tuition. I got to leave. And mind you, it was a private college, too. His mother put him in a private college, not thinking. I says, yeah? And I'm not going to never turn my son down. I'm always be there for my son. I didn't tell him no. I didn't immediately say, hang up on him and say, call your mother. I didn't do that. I said, what's going on, son? Because I just recently had my youngest daughter graduate college, 4 years from HBCU. And I'm listening to him. So I called her on three-way because she's just been in college and she knows the ins and outs and blah, 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 blah. And he talked to him. I said, okay, son, you're hearing that. What do you want to do? He said, Dad, I just think maybe I should just come on home. I said, okay, son, I'm here for you. You want me to pick you up? I'll come get you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he didn't even know that 6 months after you graduate, you got to pay that stuff back. He didn't know. I said, son, college is a business, bro.
It's a scam if you don't have the money.
Big time. You gonna
see, like you said, you the dad. What you had, Mr. Adam, was way more logical, and he was gonna make way more money instantly.
Well, you know what,
instantly. Like it wasn't even a secret. Like I know plenty of cats who went to college, they still don't make construction worker money, bro.
Hell no.
And that's facts. And that's an actual fact.
Let me tell y'all about that. I love that because you got these educated fools. 80% of the people that get their masters and their bachelor's degrees don't even work the field they went for. That's one. No. The American way was always entrepreneurship and trade. They don't talk about doing trade. They want you to go to college because they want that. It's the same as child support. They want that money. And fuck your life up. And a lot of these whores use their whores like with that degree bullshit, making $130,000. But I'm like, doing a trade, driving on the road, doing trade, electrical engineering, stuff like that. You're making the same amount of money with just what? A certificate?
That's it, bro.
And like a month of training, and maybe a month of training at the max.
Fuck out of here.
As far as college goes, here's an example. I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. I am a few classes in student teaching away from having a master's of arts in education. I don't intend to go to either one of them fields. I was actually going to go into law enforcement until I blew out my knee because I'm prior service military. I'm a protector and defender. That's who I am at my core. So I want to help people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was going to go into law enforcement until I blew out my knee. I won't be able to make it to the academy now. I got a degree in education because I still wanted to help people, but I don't want to get into education now because of all the bullshit and politics that's all in that area, in that field now.
Right.
So what did I do? I ignored my college degree. I ignored all my education and I went right back to the fucking construction that I've done most of my life. You know how much money I can make in construction an hour? You really want to know? I can make upwards of $50 an hour in construction, depending on what type of company I'm working for and what kind of construction I'm doing. I know how to do concrete work. I can do roofing. I can frame a house. I can do drywall. The only thing I can't do electrical work, and that's because the only reason I can is because, well, electricity is sparkly, and I'm not that kind of guy.
Right. Hey, I got Danny Gilmore. He's been a friend of mine since I started the damn page, man. And he's been
salute Danny
in the 15 years, man. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much. Daniel Gaines, I want to ask you this because, man, you seem really educated on this, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm dumb when it comes to being book smart. I've tried and tried. It's like chicken scratch to me. Okay, my mom died. They took 100% of my mom's death benefits from me. Never notified me, never nothing. Insurance company sent it straight to the child support. Texas, of course. I called Texas. I'm upset, man. My mom just died, and now I got to live with y'all. Took almost $10,000 from me, and they tell me that, oh yeah, it's legal. They can do that.
No.
No, it's not. They
No,
lie.
stay the store.
They're legally allowed to lie to you. They are legally allowed to lie right to your face. All of them are allowed to do so by law. It's not their responsibility to teach you or inform you of your rights. That is your responsibility alone. They cannot touch more than 50% of anything, but it's the net before tax amount. They cannot take more than 50% of any kind of income, anything. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It don't matter if you owe $1 billion in arrears. They cannot touch more than 50% legally.
Well,
They
then
will do it,
I'm
but
owed a
then
lot
it's
of
on
money.
you to sue from
I'm
there.
owed a lot of money because I got hurt on my actual last job, and I got a $7,500 settlement. I got $1,500 out of it.
Fuck out of here.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal as fuck. File the actions and take these motherfuckers to court and get your shit back and fucking sue them into bankruptcy.
Is it
Look, everybody wants to talk about.
Point me in the direction to where I can read up on what I need to do to file
Send
this.
me a message. I got you, pimpin'. Send me a message. Straight up, message me on Facebook. Give me an email address in my messenger, and I promise you I will hit you back. It might not be right away, but within the next day or two, you have my word. I will have you that information. I don't mind helping people. I don't mind giving up. The information I have is all public information anyway, so technically I can't keep it from you because you can find it yourself. But I understand people don't know where to look and everything else, so I'll gladly help out. But like Mr. Palmer touched on it earlier, we touched on it yesterday, and I'll keep saying it. Everybody wants to talk about we need to organize a protest. We need to organize for what? It ain't gonna fucking work.
Not
we
at
can
all.
get 10 million people on our side to go protest. They're gonna show up with 110 million. We don't fucking matter anymore. That's not gonna cause change for us. You want to know what will cause change for us, fathers? If every fucking state in this country gets bankrupted by lawsuits from fathers, that will force them to have to change the laws.
They have to. Yes, they will have to.
Drop this on you. Let me drop this on you. About 18 years ago, I caught tuberculosis. Was put in court-ordered isolation, meaning I can't go in public or I go to jail immediately, instantly. Well, child support said I still had to work and pay full amount monthly. Well, every
Oh my God, man.
income tax or anything, nobody wanted to help me on trying, because I knew, I'm like, man, I'm in court-ordered isolation. How can I still be forced to pay something when I can't even make a living for myself?
It's the same when you're locked up,
man.
Is what you should have done at that point. Whenever they hit you with the court order locking you down, and then child support hits you up saying, you still got to pay. You should have sent that order, a copy of that order, right to child support with a note that says, "Kiss my ass. I'm ordered not to be able to leave my house. Therefore, I cannot pay."
Well, I did send them a copy of every piece of paperwork I got from the health department, including the court order. It was just ignored.
That's because and they're going to do that, but it's your responsibility when they ignore it to pursue things from there. I keep saying that, and it sounds harsh, and I'm really not trying to be harsh, but that's the cold-hearted reality of things. It's not about them not telling you. They're never going to tell you. They're not required to. They're not under any obligation to. In the end, it comes down to you have to be the one to know this shit. They're under no obligation to tell you. Yeah, I know it sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be that way. I assure you, but that's the reality of things. You have to be the one to know this stuff. You have to be the one to pursue the actions for this stuff. You have to be the one that stands up for your rights and advocates for your rights. They're not going to do it for you because then they can't get that federal funding if they do. So they're not going to do it. You have to be the one to do it. And then when they still violate your rights, because believe me, they're still going to fucking violate your rights because they think you're full of shit and can't do nothing. When they do, nail their asses to the wall. Them the fuck up. Sue the fuck out of them, make them, because not only do you have a lawsuit against the city, you have a lawsuit against the county and against the state if they violate your rights. It's not just the local, like the city. No, because the city is ran by who? The county. The county is ran by who? The state. Therefore, all orders come from the state level to the counties, to the cities. So if the city level violates your rights, you hem up the city, county, and state, and then name the individual actors involved as well. Judges, attorneys, CPS, it don't matter who they are, all individual actors' names as well.
Now, next question. Okay. My kids in Texas are grown. And I just read that, yeah, I'm going to get the arrearages dropped some kind of way since it's statute of limitations. Now, I have a younger daughter that I've been alienated from for 14 years now. The original order started in Illinois. I was never actually served. They gave the paperwork to my stepdad and even wrote on there that it was given to him and that he promised to give it to me. Well, of course, he never gave it to me because he hates my guts. Now, she moved to Arkansas, so Arkansas took over that child support thing. But I live in Oklahoma. How did Oklahoma take it over when they have no jurisdiction over anything?
Arkansas contacted Oklahoma, and Oklahoma stepped in because that's where you live. That's standard operating procedure for them. Now, if the initial order was served to your stepdad,
yeah,
and you never got it, there ain't shit you can do about it because there was service. Now, that's an issue you have to take up with him for not notifying you of it. But legally, there's nothing. There was service accepted, so therefore it's able to go through.
But it wasn't me.
It don't matter. Somebody accepted service on your behalf. It was your stepdad. Since it was it can't be just some random person like a neighbor. It has to be a parent, sibling, something like that. But because he was your stepdad, he can legally accept service. He can legally sign for service and accept service. Now, were your due process rights upheld whenever all those orders were entered? That's the real question. If your due process rights were not upheld, if they didn't have actual evidence, proof of evidence, and all that shit, your due process rights were not upheld. If your due process rights were violated, you have action. However, if it was 18 years ago, it's outside of the statute of limitations. The only thing you could do now is move to get the child support thrown out because of the well, for one, the judge didn't have the legal authority to issue the order. So, I mean, but really now about all you could do is get the child support thrown out. If your youngest is still a minor, you can also get things back in court and send me a message on Facebook. I'll send you some case law. You can use that case law to get more rights to your child as well.
Okay.
Hey, check this out. We got Jennifer in the building. She was the one that posted about, she says she's dealing with a baby daddy. Has been alienated for 3 years. What's going on, Jennifer?
Not much.
How's everything with you?
So far, so good.
Yeah, so
Can't complain.
What's your story?
What's my story? I did the right thing at the time. I let my ex have custody. I didn't have a job, didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't have nothing. He had the better situation for my kids. So I was like, they deserve to be in a good home where they can be well taken care of.
Exactly.
I let took my kids' best interest to heart there. That hurt me. It takes a lot to do that, especially as a ma. It is what it is. There.
Much love, everybody.
All right, bro.
Right. But I let him have custody, and we did good for about 2 years. And then this last year, the last 3 years, it's just gone downhill. And slowly, he took away my physical visiting schedule. Sorry, my husband's talking to me.
No problem. Go ahead.
He took away my visiting schedule, and then I was cool with that because he lives in Kentucky. I live down in Louisiana now. I was living in Kansas at the time. Finances are really tight, so traveling constantly every other weekend was kind of hard. Whatever. I had phone call visitations for set up with our original plan and whatnot, and about 2 years ago, he completely stopped answering my phone calls, everything. I haven't seen the kids, haven't talked to them or nothing. I still pay child support. Now, mind you, in our original court order, he forfeited rights to claims for child support and future claims for child support. However, yes, I do pay child support because he has the kids on state insurance and on food stamps. So I have to pay child support, which goes directly to him, even though it really should, in my opinion, go to the state. So, but it's been a constant battle for us, and it's expensive.
How much you pay if you don't mind me asking?
I honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I pay a very low amount. Thank God that I got hit in Kansas, because Kansas goes off of minimum wage, which they're at $7.25 an hour, and they only put it at 40 hours a week, which is $165. But they calculated in my visitation time, which is the court-ordered visitation time, which was almost 35% of the year was my time.
Mhm.
Had they pushed for it, and I had told them that I wasn't getting my visitation time, I would have had to pay $580 a month.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me ask you. You have a court order that gives you the ability to talk to or see your children, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's my name's Daniel. I work for a living, not sir.
You sound like me.
Now, he's not been letting you see your kids, talk to your kids or anything for a few years, you said, right? Have you filed a motion for contempt of court for that?
I have been working on it. I'm trying to. I don't, as much as my husband would love to pay for it, my kids are not his responsibility. That's the way I
He's
see
your
things.
husband, though. You are his responsibility. As such, so are your children through default.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, he does absolutely everything for my kids. He has even paid my child support a few times when I've been out of work, which I love this man to death. He is absolutely outstanding. But I'm the one that wants to push that contempt of court. And the way I see it is my ex, don't take my wording wrong here, but I handed my ex the noose. I'm letting him hang himself.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
That's what you need to do. Give them a rope to hang their damn selves with.
That's exactly what I've been doing as I'm getting the funds together to do it. I've got, I think, $500 left, and then I'm good to take him to court.
The thing is, for a contempt of court, you don't need an attorney. All you have to do, all you need money for is the filing fee. Literally, that's it. Attorneys don't ever get a fucking attorney. Do your homework. Google Scholar is your best fucking friend. Attorneys are a part of the problem, not the solution. Period. I don't give a fuck what they tell you. They're lying to your fucking face. Now, filing a motion for contempt. It's simple. Get the documents for your states for a motion of contempt. Get them filled out. Take them up to your local courthouse. File them some. Well, actually, you probably have to do it online in the area he's at, since he's the custodial parent. But either way, fill out the documents. Get them filed with the courts of contempt. Most states now you can file online. You don't have to be in the court. You don't have to be in a state. You can do it online. All you'll have to pay is the filing fee. Filing fees are going to vary from courthouse to courthouse, but it's not going to be a lot for a contempt motion. It should be less than like maybe 15, 20 bucks at most for a contempt motion to be filed. Get the motion for contempt filed, get it in court, and go that way. Also, if your original order said that he was not allowed to take you for child support, oh wait, you said he's getting state aid, so never mind. That's gonna negate that anyway, because the state's gonna do that without him even being a part of this. That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But no, you have rights.
Trust me, I fought it. I fought it originally. When they explained that it was the state, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the kids are getting state funds for whether it's medical, food stamps, whatever the case is, because the state is helping fund the kids that are going to come after you. But it's still one of those things. If you use the case law and stuff that is in your favor from the Supreme Court and stuff that you can find on Google Scholar, you can send me a message on Facebook and I can email it to you, whatever the case is, use this case law in court to actually increase your custody to more like somewhere close to 50-50, although being in separate states, it's not going to be true 50-50, but you'll be able to get more rights than what you have now, right? At that point, it should also substantially reduce your child support as well, because you'll have your children more, and that should lower the amount in child support. But again, you have to be the one to be proactive about it. Just because a custody court grants you more custody, they're not going to adjust child support. You have to actually take the child support to the child support courts and get it adjusted there. It's two separate issues, not the same.
Yeah.
It should be one and the same, but it's really two different issues.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Sean wanted to jump on. Oh, that looked like he fell off, came back off. Well, he'll be back. He wanted to jump on. Man, I told you, it took me a minute to learn this StreamYard too. But so what's the status, Jen? So you ain't seen your kids in 3 years?
No, sir.
Damn.
Nope.
You get to talk to them?
I did for the first year and a half, and then after that, it was just phone calls. And let me tell you, phone calls, mind you, my kids are still young. Like when it was straight phone call visitations, after I wasn't able to see them anymore, they were 5 and 6. So keeping kids on a phone for
You already
visitation time for
know.
2 hours.
And look, the baby daddy threw him a toy. He running off and dropped the phone. I already know. Yeah.
Yep. I got a whole lot of "Hi, mommy, I love you. I don't want to talk" goodbyes and hung up once. It took me a year and a half to get them to talk to me for the full 2 hours, and we was having good conversation. Literally 6 weeks into good conversation, I got comfortable enough to let my daughter with my current husband. Mind you, we're not legally married, but he's my husband.
I understand.
I let our daughter have interaction with her brothers on the phone 2 times, and then my ex said, "You're not allowed to talk to him no more," and destroyed not only me but destroyed my daughter. It was horrible.
Get this for one. If there's a sibling to the children that you don't have custody of, the courts actually have to take that into consideration in determining custody. They have to allow the siblings to have some kind of access. You need to get this shit back in court because you have another child, which is their sibling and everything else. All this shit plays okay, but it's still the same thing. All that factors into shit. It really does. And if your situation is improved now to where you're stable, have work, gainful employment, have a home and everything else, you can actually fight to get custody of your kids given back to you since now your circumstances have changed. You allowed him to take custody for a good reason because you weren't stable enough. You couldn't provide. He could. That's commendable. Difficult, I understand, but commendable. You tried to do the right thing. You tried to step up and
I commend for that. Baby mama says will let the kid die before they give it to the father.
But now if your situation has changed and improved, you don't have to keep taking the same kind of shit. You don't have to settle for the same custody. Get this shit back in court. Take 50-50. Y'all can work out something to where you can do half the school year in his state and the other half the school year in your state. Have them in 2 separate schools at the middle of the school year, and it don't affect nothing. It don't affect shit. There's multiple options that it can be taken. You just have to be the one to get it back in court. I keep saying that and I sound like a broken record. I understand that. But that's the hard reality of it. You have to be the one to do shit. Nobody can do it for you. If you don't do it, ain't nobody doing it. And if ain't nobody doing it, it don't get done.
You know what? I repeat myself all the time. You have to keep hitting them on the head till they finally get it or finally get them to do something. Sean, what's going on, brother? I'm glad you came on, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm doing good. I got a couple questions for either both of you or if anyone got the best answer. First questions first. Not that long ago, I did a modification. Of course, I went through whole proceedings of doing the modifications. They found an agreement that we all did it. Well, I just got a piece of paper in the mail now that they're requesting another modification. Where do I go about doing that? Do I continue to honor that modification? Or do I basically tell them, go fuck yourself and stick to what they already did it since it was only a year ago and they supposedly say every 3 years is when they do the modification?
What state you in?
Illinois.
Oh, you went with me. Yeah, it is supposed to be every 3 years. Well, no, hold on. In Illinois, is every 3 years, or if you or her, if she makes 20% more or 20% less, she can go back before the 3 years.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Why are they trying to get it back in court a year later versus 3 years? What's the cause? What's their cause for getting it back in court before the 3 year time frame? That's what's really going to matter.
And that's the same thing I'm trying to figure out because the last I went, I did have a job. Because of this COVID thing, I ended up losing my job. I was still meeting my obligations, especially through unemployment. They were taking it out. Now, again, I guess the second they reissued the paperwork for unemployment, that I got that same letter stating that they wanted to modify again. So I'm just at a loss of like, what do I do? Do I file the paperwork and show them, hey, I'm unemployed, but I get X, Y, and Z amount of dollars through unemployment? Or do I just send them a letter saying, stop harassing me?
Let me ask you.
Again, it comes back to, go ahead, Mr. Palmer, my bad.
No, I was going to say, have your evidently your income decreased because you get unemployment, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's
That's
more.
probably why.
I actually get more through unemployment
Because of the
than I did.
$600, right?
Yep.
That's why they're taking it back to court early. The judge change in circumstances.
Right, but you know that $600 is going to end in July 1st.
Yep.
Exactly. That's why it's like, well, if I fill out that paperwork and they get the information, it basically values no good, because if they go back to court, then guess what? Unemployment's done with.
You'll still get unemployment. You'll get the $200, but you won't get that $600 no more.
Tell them to kiss your ass.
That's
straight up. Tell them in 2 more years, then you can modify again. Tell them you do not agree to any modification because your circumstances have not changed at all.
I'm gonna respond.
Yeah, I wouldn't even respond either. I just file it right in the trash can, straight up. File it in the trash can and fucking ignore it. What are you gonna do? Come arrest you? No.
Put it in the shredder, bro. Don't respond to that shit. Fuck them.
Okay.
Nah, just ignore it.
Let them serve you or something. Fuck them.
Yeah, and then one more question, so I don't take up everybody's time.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good.
Like I said, I have an old. It's not an old case, but my oldest son is gonna be 17. Years ago, when I got into the child support thing, and I didn't know in terms of a paternity is acknowledging of a contract and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm pretty much got screwed where I'm behind almost $100,000. How the hell do I fight that?
Demand to dismiss, quorum non judica. That's how you deal with it.
How is that? I'm gonna have to email you.
Basically, is what that means is the judge who approved your child support order gets his paychecks from the same federal funds that the states get from collecting child support, which means the judge is not a unbiased adjudicator. He is a witness, which means he has no legal authority to issue said order in the first place, which makes the whole fucking contract invalid and illegal, which means you are under no obligation to fulfill your end of that contract because it's not legal binding. Period.
Wow. Yeah, because
file the documents. It's all it takes from that point. File the documents. Hit me up on Messenger and I'll email you to demand to dismiss.
Yeah, because I know that back then when I did it, the judge was a female judge or whatever she was, and she thought I was playing games. She says, "Oh, so you think this is funny? I'm gonna default you at $100 a week."
That's because she's a baby mama Terra supporter.
Yeah, that's what she probably a baby mama Terra her damn self, and now she just showing her love and support for that side.
Probably a goddamn feminist too, probably a butch.
Yep.
So you know that right there, you know, you in a lose-lose battle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Like I said, my man, hit me up on Messenger with an email address, and I'll send you over some shit to check out and look at. And I'm telling you, it's got court cases on it that where the points that are made in the document I'll send you have the court cases right there with it. That gives the authority to the things that are said in this. Ask Mr. Palmer. I don't know if he had a chance to look at it yet, but I sent it to him.
But I will.
It's got court cases. It's got the Supreme Court and everything, the federal court cases, the information right there with it. They can't argue that because it's higher than they are. They have no authority to overturn the Supreme Court. Fuck them.
Yeah. So, and that with that being said, and I do this format. Do I do it as a legal format, where in terms of like with the way it's presented as a legal document with them, getting it notarized and all that other stuff? Or
if you hit me up on Messenger with an email address, the document I send you, it will have my case information and my name and stuff on it. All you got to do, save the document, enable editing, change my shit to your shit, case number, names, and all that shit, file it with the courts as is. All you got to do is change my information to yours, take that bitch to your courthouse, pay the filing fee, and have that motherfucker filed. You'll get a court date from there. Straight up.
Awesome.
That's all it takes. You don't need an attorney. You don't need an attorney. All you got to do is stand there and say, you have the document. Just repeat what the document says to the judge. They're going to have no choice. If they don't uphold what the document says, if they don't dismiss it, automatically appeal it. Automatically. The judge can't tell you you don't get to appeal. The judge has to allow the appeal. They'll try and tell you they don't. Yes, they have to allow the appeal legally. They cannot deny you your right to an appellate court decision ruling based off the information provided. They have to allow you to go through the appellate courts. Legally, they cannot deny that. They can try, assert your rights.
I guess my
don't
biggest
back down, don't be fucking scared of them because that's what they count on is your fee.
And that's exactly what I was just gonna say. You know, because I owe so much, I feel like if I go back to court, they're gonna freaking hold me in contempt.
Let them try. All they can do is hold you in contempt and fine you. They can't arrest you. The Supreme Court has said they can no longer arrest people for child support. They have to find alternatives to jail for child support. Your child support order in itself says you have to make a payment. It doesn't state anywhere that you have to make the entire payment. Give them $25 for a month, and then the second month, give them another $25. Then go in there and file your shit. They can't come at you because you're making payments. Then tell them, I'm making payments. I just can't afford anything more. What do you want me to do? I'm giving all I can afford. They have to accept it. If they don't accept it, then they're violent. Then they're in the
hey, bro, in Illinois, I don't know how it is in other states. In Illinois, you got to be, if you go to jail, you got to be, of course, $2,500 in the rear. And also, you got to not pay it for 6 months straight. So if you pay something within the 6 months, they're not supposed to be in jail.
Yeah, because of course, they're taking out of my check. And then,
exactly.
And, I've been paying what I can. Sometimes it's $10, sometimes it's $25. I've been paying what I can when I can.
And it doesn't say in that order that it says a month you're supposed to pay this, but the language of it states if you have to make payments. It doesn't state that legally the full payment must be made. If you're making any type of payments, then you are fulfilling your end of the obligation. You're just going to have more going to the arrearage, but you're still making some kind of payment. They cannot do anything to you. Plus, if they threaten with jail or anything else, the Supreme Court has taken jail off the table for child support arrearage. The Supreme Court said that the states are now to find alternatives to jail because they don't want to keep throwing people in jail, because when you get put in jail, you're not able to pay child support. You get further behind, you get out, and instantly they can hold you in contempt and put you right back in. So the Supreme Court says, no. We're done with that. Find an alternative. Now, if they're threatening you with your loss of license, loss of
they've already suspended my license. I've been trying to get a hold of them for I don't know how long to supposedly make a payment.
Due process rights. When they took your license, that they uphold your due process rights and show proof, with the burden of proof being on them as to why you shouldn't be allowed to have it. No, they didn't. Therefore, they have no legal authority to take your license. The Supreme Court has says traveling freely is a right given to us by God, not any government. Technically, did you also know the Supreme Court has said that a driver's license is not required to be a valid driver? However, what the Supreme Court also said is they will defer to the states on that. So it's the states that require you to have a driver's license, not the federal government, not the U.S. Supreme Court. You actually have a God-given right to travel freely without any government interference. Most people don't understand that. But yes.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, question for you.
Hold on real quick, Reggie. On my Facebook, I got a haircut, clean haircut and fresh shave, but I'm wearing a blue button-down collar shirt and khakis. That's my picture that's my profile picture on Facebook. All right, go ahead.
All right, so question. Side note, didn't mention this earlier, but my husband's got a baby mama terrorist. We'll go with that. When we went to mediation for his custody and whatnot, they wanted proof of income for him to figure out what his child support was going to be. He had just switched jobs like the week prior and gotten the first week's paycheck from his new job. They went off of that new paycheck, putting him at like $680 a month child support, plus his plus his back child support for 3 years before they even filed for divorce or anything. Is there any way to get that changed or no?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options you can take. Like I keep saying, when your husband went to court with the mediator and all that shit, were his due process rights upheld in the court? Completely upheld his due process rights. Did they have proof? Was there proof of an injury in fact in order for them to establish that he should be required to pay child support? Did the baby mama terrorist show that by her not getting child support there would be an injury? I guarantee she didn't, which means that it's not fucking valid, because the Supreme Court says there has to be proven injury in order for them to take your money. That's why people need to educate themselves. Education and action is what's required. They're not going to tell you this shit. They're not under any obligation to. You're responsible to know your rights and assert your rights to them. That's really how it goes. As fucked up as that is, that's the cold-hearted reality of things. It's your responsibility to know this shit and educate yourself. They're gonna snake you as much as they can. That's all they are, some shady, corrupt bastards. It's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. They're all greedy, corrupt motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about anybody but their own pocketbook. You have to be able to play. You have to be able to play their game and play it better. And it really isn't hard. The one thing that trips up a lot of people I found, and I'm learning in all this, is the language is what gets a lot of people. The language, because a word they use that everybody uses every day has two separate meanings when it comes to law. We have the normal meaning in a regular Webster's dictionary, but then if you look at a Black's Law dictionary, you'll see in legal terms, in legalese, the meaning is completely different. That's why I tell people, if you want to be able to play their game on their level to where you can actually outplay them at their own fucking game, get a Black Laws dictionary. That's your best friend, a Black's Law dictionary, the most current version you can find. Get you one of those. Learn the lingo. Learn the lingo. Use their language to fuck them dry. Fuck them hard all day long.
Hey, check this out. You 100% right. I got my boy SD Booker, another Texas native out here.
Sorry, you didn't mean to interrupt you over there.
That's good. Hey, this is book right here, Toast to the Men. Matter of fact, on June the 20th, we doing the actual online Toast to the Men conversation. Everybody definitely need to get in tune, man. What's going on, SD?
I'm doing good. Everyone, it's going to be a Zoom session that I'm going to stream through Facebook Live. So we're going to do watch parties also. Second annual Toast to the Men. I wrote this book. I was motivated because of what I was going through as a father, the court system, child custody battles, man, false accusation, lost my job, couldn't my 401k wiped out, just getting lawyers year after year, car repossessed. Man, I was going through it, and I had to. Instead of snapping, I said I need to write, and I was like, I'm not the only one that's going through this. Let me write and vent, and just do this for all men. And so that's what it was motivated on.
Yes, sir.
That's why I've started, because that's why I've started trying to get into the advocacy game myself, because it's been, like I've said many times, my daughter will be 17 next month. The last time I seen my daughter was the day of her 4th birthday. I haven't seen my kid in almost my only biological child in almost 13 years. Less than a month, or just over a month actually, it'll be 13 years. I've had a few phone calls with her recently, but because all the lies that's been put into her head, she don't want nothing to do with me.
Of course.
So because of my situation, I feel I need to try and help as many other fathers as I can, because I know what this shit's done to me. So I can only imagine what it's doing to other people. Not everybody's going to have the mental toughness that I had. Granted, my childhood is what caused that, having abusive parents and all that shit. So I learned how to be mentally tough at a very young age, unfortunately. But not everybody can handle all the stress and shit. The stress gets to a lot of people. I mean, it's cost me my hair and every damn thing else. So I know what it does. That's why it's like, anybody wants this information? Hit me up. I got you. I'll give you the information. I got to do what I can to help the next man out.
Yes.
Right.
Or woman.
And that's why I do what I do, because I wash my hands. So I definitely wanted to spread awareness and definitely, expose this unjust system as well as these baby mama terrorists. It's a way to give back for other men who are going through it, because a lot of men think it's just them and they're alone. So, and we definitely have, like I say, I always say it, change the laws, not mine. And that going along to get along shit, not saying nothing, sweeping on the rug, that's bullshit. And that's not going to go nowhere. You setting yourself up for failure, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Don't agree to anything. Don't sign shit. No agreements. No signing shit. Assert your rights and demand that they uphold them. Get as much as you can on the record. They're going to do what they want to do. All you need to do is give them enough rope to fucking hang themselves. Let them dig their grave. Let them get in it and lie down themselves. All you have to do is backfill that motherfucker, and it's easy as hell to do. It really is.
Yeah. SD, so what's the status with you now, man? Everything cool with you? Baby mama terrorism still going on, or what? You already know.
Man, life is good. I'm in Killeen right now visiting some people, but
okay.
I have to step in the car and talk to you, log on. But
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to the event. I appreciate you being a part of it.
Man, I ain't gonna miss that.
The big back off of Daniel, him saying that he wanted to give back to men. recently I had a conversation with a buddy of mine. I was telling him why I wrote the book, and he said, "Hey man, you know why you wrote this is because
Thor, leave him alone.
belongs to you. You have to use that pain as wisdom to give back. It no longer belongs to you anymore. So now you have to give it back to the world as wisdom. And so that's what it's about, man."
Yeah, I feel you on that. I agree with you on that too. Oh, I agree with the statement on that one. Yeah, and that's where I'm at. I feel like my pain anymore isn't just mine alone. I need to take my pain, take my torment and my anguish, and use that as fuel for the fire to do what I can to ensure that it happens to as little amount of other men as possible. Because, man, we're men. We're supposed to be big, strong. We're supposed to be the providers and everything else. I get that that's what society says. But, man, just because we're fucking men don't mean we don't have feelings. We hurt. We feel pain. We feel heartache. We feel, we feel all the same shit as a woman does. So, I mean, it affects us just as much as it would any fucking body else. So I don't want other people to have to go through that. I don't want people to feel like they're alone in that. Because for the first several years of my case, until I met my old lady now, I felt like I was alone in this. I mean, I knew other fathers went through it, but I didn't have anybody support me. You know what I'm saying? Not like financially, but emotionally, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. My own family wouldn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? And they knew the bullshit I was dealing with. But they're just like, oh, well, it's not our problem type of shit.
Right.
So,
I mean, I don't want other people to feel the way I feel. I don't want them thinking they're on their own. No, I got you, man. If nobody else does, hit me up. I got you.
I can agree with that. That's a lot of how I felt in the beginning. Like, me and my husband went through the same thing, same time, basically. Like, I felt like we was alone. Nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to support each other.
They don't want to talk about it.
No, and when I found this page,
so much.
when I found your page and was going through some of the memes and whatnot, I was like, I freaking love this page. And then when you guys sit here and you post, and I'm like, I can relate to this. He can relate to this. I'm like, okay, at least, like, I knew, there's fathers and other parents that go through this, but it ain't talked about. And find this page and there's people that actually interact with it. It's nice to have a little bit of support there.
The problem is that I'm learning it's taboo to talk about fathers' rights.
It really is.
You're sexist if you bring up fathers' rights, because then you're advocating against women. You're all kinds of labels if you advocate for fathers' rights. You'll have people accusing you of being racist, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist, all that bullshit, just because you're an advocate for fathers' rights.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people end up backing out of this game.
And you know
they
what?
Can't take a little bit of heat. They can't take a little bit of hate.
Yeah.
So they get out of it, or they start changing everything up, trying to appease everybody. Man, fuck the masses.
I'm glad. Hey,
about your life.
And that's the reason why I made this page, and that's why I tell, like, anybody want to do an interview, anybody want to come on here, I could bleep your face out. You ain't got to show your face. You can use a different name. I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers say. I had people from Me Too, feminists. I had these fake ass conscious. We support our king queens coming here.
Get the fuck out of here.
I had these fake ass beta simp ass white knights coming out at me. I still have it. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna expose this system, these baby mama terrorist whores. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Anybody got problems?
That's how we need.
Out of your business, because I ain't.
And that's how we need to be. That's exactly how we need to be, Mr. Palmer. That's just it.
That's why I
fuck all these haters. Fuck the masses. We need to worry about ourselves.
Right.
And ain't nobody gonna have our backs but each other, because we know how this shit feels. We know what it's like to be the victim in this. We know what this shit does with somebody. All we got is each other. Period. We ain't got nobody but each other. Let's use that. Let's use each other, work with each other, help each other, carry each other, uplift each other, be there to support one another. Unite as one. They can't ignore all of us at once if we're quiet. If we do it the right way, they can't fucking ignore us. Period.
And look, people look at me crazy. I wear my fuck child's hat. I wear my baby mama tan straight down the street. The SD know when I'm out of Texas, I'm rocking.
I want to rock that hat you're rocking, bro.
Hey.
I don't wear hats, but I kind of want one of them hats. But I am gonna get me a shirt at some point. I just gotta get where I have the money to afford it.
I'm working on it now. I got the links in the Teespring, man. I'm telling you, that's why I say I want to build this movement for, like I said, I made this page for various reasons. It ain't just about child support. It's about being a father. It's about telling our story.
Father support.
It's about unity. It's about trying to help each other out mentally, physically, and definitely trying to make change. That's why I say change the laws in our mind. I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers say. If your own mama go against you, you cut her ass off too. It does not matter. Because the baby mama tears come in all forms, and I always talk about it. I don't give a fuck black, white, blue, or green, Republican, Democrat, Confederate, pro-black. I don't give a fuck. You go in that courtroom as a man, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get fucked up by the system.
That's
it's
true.
very rare for women, but you're gonna get fucked up by the system. And I tell this over and over and over again till people see the light. The ones that don't see the light, fuck them. Fuck them.
Yep.
Hey, Daniel,
what gets me is one of the things that gets me is the label. When you tell people you pay child support and you ain't got custody of your kids,
you're already labeled.
Yeah.
Already a bad person.
Yeah, you're already considered a deadbeat.
Stigma.
Yep. What'd you do wrong?
What'd you do wrong? I'm like, I'm over here like,
No, they'll
saying
tell you
what I did wrong is what I did right.
No, you know what I tell you? What, like I'm talking about the men. What did you do to her? You had to do something for her to run the court. You had to do something.
Yep.
Fuck out.
Oh, mine was a.
Fuck out of here.
What was you? Was you whoring around, or excuse my French there? Sorry, was you whoring around, or what was you doing wrong to be considered unfit to be a mother? It wasn't that it was unfit.
Yeah, that they're already putting the judgment on you without even knowing who you are and your story.
Yeah. And the courts do the same shit. The courts do the same shit to fathers all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just society. It's the courts guilty of it too. A male walks into a courtroom, they automatically think this motherfucker's guilty of something because he's got a dick.
85% of men are paying child support and non the custodial parent. Period. That's it. 85%.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, real quick. For the advice that you're giving us, I don't hope you don't take this into offense. Has that worked for you? The documents that you're sending me and other people, has that worked for you? Beating the system and the man itself.
My case is unique for a number of reasons.
Okay.
One is, as I've stated, and I can prove with court records and everything, my baby mama Terrace is a flight risk. It started in 2004 in Washington and Tacoma, Pierce County. It's been in Oklahoma, it's been in Texas, been in California, been in Washington 2 other times, and everything else. Every time the courts start giving me access to my child, she bails, flees the fucking state. I can't get it. You can't get things in court to get it a resolution worked out if you can't get the other party to serve documents. So, to this point, right now, I sit back in court now thanks to my baby mama Paris in a criminal case. My baby mama Paris and my daughter are looking at assault 2 and attempted kidnapping charges right now. Okay, literally, straight up, assault 2 and attempted kidnapping in the state of Washington. Because of that, they're not allowed to leave the state. And I found out about the article. The story made national headlines on Valentine's Day of this, or they were arrested on Valentine's Day of this year. I found out about it maybe a week after, and ever since then I've been playing my part. I gave them the shovel, gave them the plot of land, and to this point, they've dug the grave, they've laid in it and got comfortable. Now all it is for me to start backfilling it. Friday, I sent my notices of intent to the state, I sent 8 of them in total. But my notices of intent are to inform them that I am pursuing a legal action for violations of USC 18, 241, and 242, conspiracy against rights and deprivation of rights under color of law. Once I get the return receipts back, I'll give it a week, and then I'll actually file the actual legal documents and get it in court. Will my case have success this time? Yes. Will I get the result I want? Probably not, but only because the result I want is to be able to be a father to my daughter, and with my daughter's age and everything, is probably not going to happen. But I will be successful in getting my child support money reimbursed. I will be successful with my lawsuit, and I will be successful with establishing new precedent and case law in the state of Washington.
Nice.
So yes, it does work. The information I have, the demand to dismiss was actually given to me by somebody else.
Okay.
And the person who gave it to me, I've seen the documents. I seen the notice from the IRS where they got over $250,000 back from their child support that was fraudulent.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they got a check for like $253,000 from the IRS over it, and all because they filed that demand to dismiss and it was upheld by the courts.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know they work. I know it works. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Another
But
question.
in my case, I haven't been able to due to circumstances.
No,
Until-
understandable. Another question. So I have a baby mama to 2 younger kids of mine. She's currently, and the reason I bring this up is because somebody talked about Section 8. She's currently on Section 8 and on Link. She always threatens, because I give her money outside of courts. We're not through court
Don't do that.
order.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You don't give a cash, do you?
No. I give her money orders.
Put child support on
Don't matter. Don't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
put child support.
Don't give a
Don't matter. Don't do that.
Why?
Because you don't give her a fucking penny more than the state says you have to.
We're not through the state. That's the thing. We're
You
not
don't have a
court
child
ordered.
support order?
No.
Then don't give her a fucking dime if you ain't get to be a parent to your kids. Fuck her.
That's the thing. This is long story short. I get my kids every other weekend and about a week off, week on over the summer. She still demands that I give her $100 every other week because she feels that, it's like this. She talks about if I don't give it to her, she'll take me through court and all this other shit. What's the likely chances of her screwing herself because she's on Section 8 and Link and all that shit rather than I get screwed the most?
Because she's on that, it's actually going to screw you even more because she's getting state funds to help with the children. You're going to be responsible for it. Now, is what you could do is tell her straight up, you're not giving her shit and you still want to see your kids. Because let's look at the facts. Facts are, based off what you just said, she's willing to allow you to be a part-time parent if you're a full-time job for her.
Yeah, that's how it feels like.
You get to be part-time as long as you keep her full-time employment benefits up.
Bro.
No, hell no. That's how this shit works. That's not how what you're
Hey,
going to
bro,
say.
I'll be honest
No.
with you. She extorting you, bro. She doing that baby mama. I wouldn't give her nothing. Fuck you.
Nope, fuck her.
Take me to
My wife says the same thing.
Bro, stop paying that whore.
Your wife's right.
And let me jump in here real quick.
Fuck that.
Let me jump in here right quick.
Yeah.
Now, Sean, one thing. I know that when I got hit for child support through the states because my kids are on state aid and whatnot, one of the things that they told me, because I fought it tooth and nail because my original court order through the court states that he forfeited all rights to claims and future claims, child support. I fought it like hell, but it was the state that hit me, which is fine. The reason, if she hits you, the reason let me think about my word. The reason I have to pay is because if I pay and he receives that money, he has to claim that money on their food stamps and whatnot as income.
Yeah.
If what I pay him puts him over the threshold in their state, they'll get opted out of that.
So you think she's doing it? You think she's doing it to basically peel off the top as well? So she's
doing it under the table so she can still get her stuff.
Yeah, she's doing it that way. She ain't got that way she can have her cake and eat it too. That's what she's doing it for. She
Bro.
wants to have her cake and eat it too.
Bro,
Don't fucking fall for that
and let me
bullshit.
tell you, bro. And the thing is, she know you scared to fear child support court. Fuck that bitch. Go ahead and stop paying. Don't even respond to that whore. Don't give a shit. Nothing.
Nope. Fuck her.
She said
Like I said.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, the state, any money that you have given her, even though you have proof showing that you've given it to her,
it won't count.
The court system is gonna tell you it was a gift.
It was a gift.
And
It was a gift.
And then she might go. They might go back on Ridge on your ass off top like they
They
did.
will.
Yeah, you don't want
even
that.
though my kids are freaking one's 12 and the other's freaking 10.
It don't matter. Every
Bro.
penny you've given her through a money order that says child support has been a gift. You have gifted her,
bro.
As such, it does not get applied to child support, which means she can take you for arrearages from the day they were fucking born till now.
Yeah, and the thing about it, don't think about now is if you get a judge that's actually a righteous judge, but with the gamble, that's 1 out of 100. You ain't gonna.
Yeah. 1 out of 100, more like 1 out of 1,000.
Well, I'm being nice.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, stop paying the whole.
I gotta go, man. I gotta go.
Okay, bro.
All right, Mr. Booker, you have a good day.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk.
You up
All
too,
right,
Bye, Booker.
All right, now. Nah, stop paying that bitch. Don't
pay her shit, bro. Straight up, don't get that bitch nothing.
But then if
Make
she
her
goes,
take you to court.
I was gonna say, if she goes to
Honestly,
court, then what? Do I just sit here and just kind of take it
honestly,
in
if
the
I
ass
was
again?
you,
Nah, show up and appear in court.
honestly, if I was
Appear in
you,
court.
I'd go file it myself. You yourself, go file that shit
No,
before
hell
her.
I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't do
I
that
wouldn't
either.
do that
I
either.
mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
That's
Nah,
just me.
fuck that. Nah, you
No,
stay
because then you're putting yourself on payment for no reason. Look,
Nah,
here's
fuck
what
that.
you do, my man. Fuck her. Right? Straight up, here's what you do. Fuck her, don't give her shit. If she takes you to court for child support, show up to that motherfucker with a smile on your face. And then whenever they try to issue an order against you, that's when you need to tell the judge, Your Honor,
No, we
where's
can't shoot
the
them in the
proof
quick.
requirement for my due process rights? Watch what the judge, watch the look. Don't worry about what the judge says. Watch the look on the judge's face when you assert your due process rights and ask for evidence. What evidence do they have? Watch the judge's facial expression. That'll tell you right there. You've already won. Straight up.
Okay.
That'll tell you right there. You just won your case.
Okay.
That's what these terrorists do, bro. They ain't
Yeah.
shit.
They
None of
rely
Yeah.
on your
I
fear.
get
bro.
And the
She's
worst
gonna
part
rely
about
on your fear.
the worst part about this whole thing, and even my wife says it, is that she uses my kids against me.
Of
So if I
course.
don't pay her,
Oh, that they
if
always
I
do.
don't, yeah, if I don't pay her, I don't get my kids that weekend.
You can't
That's
fold,
because
bro.
she's a baby mama terrorist.
You can't fold, bro. You gotta stop letting it run. I'm sure your wife tell you that over and over and over. Stop folding for that whore. I guarantee
Yep.
she tell you that. Right. Keep your veins
So-
cold. You gotta be tough, man. You can't fall because she gonna do that forever.
Yeah, I
Yep.
got you.
Don't quit cowering down to these bitches. Quit backing down and being scared of these courts. These courts are gonna make threats and everything else all fucking day long. But at the end of the day, those threats straight up are empty fucking threats. They cannot jail you because you disagree with them violating your rights. That's wrongful imprisonment, which is a serious fucking lawsuit, and it will actually get the judge serious jail time.
Wow.
Don't
Okay.
buy into their threats and
So,
bullshit. Don't be scared of
Daniel,
these motherfuckers. They have to uphold the law the same as everybody else does.
Cause
Okay.
believe me, if she
So-
gonna look, bro, if she gonna alienate you, she gonna alienate you regardless whether you pay
I
child.
agree.
Yep.
Don't pay it. Don't entertain it. Don't entertain it.
so
Nope.
Yeah, bro. Stop
Wash your
paying
hands
her.
and walk
Stop
away
paying
before
her.
you entertain that.
Right. Stop
Don't
paying.
don't pay her
All right.
nothing.
I'm
Don't pay
serious.
don't
So-
pay something
Bro,
else that the
we're
court's
not
gonna
just
tell
telling
you.
you this for nothing. We're not just saying it, just be saying it. Fuck her.
Yeah,
I got you.
don't pay her because once you go,
I'm a-
she can still say she can file on you and still say you ain't been paying, and you can sit and tell the judge, hey, I've been paying all these years, and here go the receipts. They gonna say it's a gift. It don't mean nothing.
Some of
That
them. And
sucks.
then not only that, I know a judge told a guy, he's like, you supposed to. It didn't mean shit to him. He said you supposed to.
It don't mean
Get the
anything.
fuck
Don't mean
outta
nothing.
here.
God damn,
Dude,
it's a
don't
gift.
stop
Gifts are
paying
free.
her money. Make her go down and do whatever she gonna do.
Right, let her do
You
it.
show up when you get the summons in the mail. You show up, and you just like Daniel said, make them prove their case. Make her prove it.
All right.
The burden
So,
of proof on
then-
child
And
support, the
I'm
burden
gonna
of
tell
proof.
you something else, and I did. I don't know about any other states that this is working on, but I didn't tell you what I did when I was there being here in Illinois. They tried
Oh,
to get me.
perfect. I'm in Illinois too. Perfect. So we good.
Well, I can tell you what I did because I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
What I did for them to calculate how much I gotta pay, I used the previous year's tax return. That's what the law said. I didn't give them no damn present check stuff. No,
Okay.
I gave them the previous year's tax return, and they had to take that. They had
Okay.
to. So don't go down there giving them your latest check. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, just do
You
the
give-
the
especially if
past.
you know you made less last year. Give them that goddamn tax return.
Whichever
They-
one
they
is
have-
lower, give them that one.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's a good-
by all means, stop paying her.
All
Don't
right, cool.
don't pay her not one more red cent.
Yeah, I
She's
guess she
extorted
feel
you
I
long
guess
enough.
I guess she feels because I do tattoos, I make money. So it ain't even like
Hey,
that.
bro, whether you making money or not, fuck her. Don't give her nothing.
Exactly.
That's
I
what
agree.
court tell you to
I
give.
agree.
No.
And here in Illinois,
so Daniel,
here in
question.
Illinois, what you can do when you do get when you do get it all on paper, you still don't pay her. You pay the state. Send the
Really?
money to in Illinois. It's the disbursement.
Yeah, state
unit.
disbursement unit. Yeah,
Yep.
state disbursement unit.
It's in Carroll Springs, Illinois. I know because I send mine there. Because when I started doing that, it pissed her off.
Yeah.
Right.
It pissed her off.
Yeah, because she ain't gonna get shit.
And look, this what I like about that. Once they put you on child support, that's all you're obligated to do. Now, if you get your kids, you spend whatever you want to spend, but don't give her shit. Matter of fact, if, she got an issue, if any issue she got an issue with, tell them to talk child support. That's your daddy. You talk to them. That's you. They the middleman. You couldn't co-parent. You send that shit to them. You talk to child support. Any issues you got with the money, don't talk.
I did that with my daughter.
That's what you do.
I did that with my daughter. My daughter, she's 8 years old, and I told her that. She wanted me to buy her something to take home. She wanted me to buy her a gift to take home with her. I said, no. You ask your mother. I give your mother good money that the state said I have to pay.
No.
Ask your mother for it.
Keep them
Anything
veins
that
cold.
here belongs to you here.
Keep them veins cold. You don't.
Oh yeah. I'm the my ex-wife had my 8-year-old daughter stealing clothes out of here.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like we said, don't give nothing, man.
No, I feel you. All right, I'm gonna start doing that shit. I just, like I said, and I appreciate all the support.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it my wife tells me, but sometimes you just the last thing you want to do is not see your kids.
Now you hear it from other fathers. Don't fuck them. You cannot co-parent with a baby mama tears, bro.
Now, see, the thing is, like you just said, you want to see your kids.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Palmer already said, she gonna keep them kids from you
regardless
or not. If she gonna keep them kids, she gonna keep them kids. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
That's
Fuck her. Don't give her shit. Make her take you to court. And like I said, go in there, assert your rights, ask for your due process, ask where the evidence is to show the injury. Because for child support, there has to be an injury proven in order to require you to pay. There really does.
Really?
Ask for the information. Yeah. They have to be able to prove there's going to be an injury. There's some kind of injury.
I didn't know that at first.
I didn't know that either.
I was going to say, I didn't know that shit.
We don't know, bro.
Mr. Palmer, look at that demand to dismiss I sent you. It's in there. The information about the proof of injury is in that. It's in the demand to dismiss.
Mr. Palmer, could you send that to me too? Because I'm not on Facebook. They banned my ass.
I got your email. What I'll do, I'll post it on the Fuck Child Support Facebook page as well.
Yeah, and Daniel, I sent you that message whenever you get a chance to send me that.
Give me that message. I'll get it to you. Like I said, I've been sending out emails all day with this information for the demand to dismiss all of it.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that. I want that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, question. You might know this better than me. Some states, if you can agree before you guys go to court and whatnot, and you sit down, you write down your terms of your custody and support and whatnot, and you have it notarized. Some courts, depending on the state or even county or parish, depending on where you live, they'll accept that and they'll put that into court.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. In Chicago, in Illinois, that right there, they're gonna look at that and laugh. I promise you. They're gonna look at it and laugh. This is what I did. What helps me is that I was married. That's what helps me. I was married. Okay. And what I did during the divorce, I had already written out a parenting agreement, and we agreed to that in court. And see, now when we agree to it in court, the judge is basically a judge's order now, and now she can't violate it. So what I would encourage you to do is get all that stuff written out, take it to court, and agreed on it in court. Now it's basically a judge's order.
Yep.
Well, I was just wondering if maybe having it notarized, like having it written up and notarize the agreement, and then take the agreement that's notarized into court and having it okayed by the judge or whatever.
Most judges are going to laugh and ignore that shit altogether. Technically, if you come to a peaceable agreement, it's reasonable. That's the standard. It has to be reasonable. Technically, they're supposed to agree and sign off on agreed cases. However, if they sign off on them and there's no child support because it's going to be shared custody and blah, 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 they lose extra funding for the state and for their paychecks. As such, they don't want to agree with that. They want to cause conflict. That way they can get it drawn out longer to cost more money. That way one side's willing to keep the kids more from the other side. That way they can increase the child support amount. It's all about extortion.
It's
legal extortion. That's all it fucking comes back to. It's all about the money. Follow the money.
I'm gonna tell you, and I didn't say this to people about when we get on subjects like this. As of now, my daughter's 8 years old. We divorced when she was 1. Since then, I have spent $27,515 now because I just made some payments to my lawyer, and lawyer's fees and in court fees, all just to stay involved in my daughter's life.
That's sad.
That's actually kind of cheap compared to what a lot of people
I'm
are
not-
doing. As bad as
Here's
that
the
is,
thing.
as sad
I'm
as
not
that
a
is,
rich guy. I don't make six figures. I don't make a lot of that money. I've had to take rent money, all kinds of shit just to stay
I
involved.
fully understand you,
So
my
that
brother. I fully get
$27,000
that.
for me,
I think we
man,
all can now.
right. I still feel fortunate because I was barely able to afford an attorney. Most guys can't, man. Most
Nope.
guys can't. So I'm telling you, bro, this is going to be a long battle. If you want to be involved in your daughter's life, it's going to be a long battle, and be ready to start spending all kind of money that you ain't got.
Now, look, I'll tell you like this, right? My case is in Washington, Pierce County, Washington, which is the Tacoma area. Tacoma's the biggest city in Pierce County that people are going to know about or have heard about, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, guys, I gotta get off here.
All right, Ms. Jen, have a good day. The average retainer fee for a family law attorney in Pierce County, Washington, $7,500 just for the retainer. That
Just
only
the
gets you
retainer.
2 hours of work. $350 an hour is the average going rate for an attorney in the state of Washington. $350 a fucking hour. I live in Missouri. Minimum wage is only a little over $8 an hour here. I mean, granted, I have the ability to make it slightly above that, but still, $350 an hour. Who the fuck
Yeah,
can afford?
when I tell guys that,
That's what
man,
I'm
they,
saying.
they catch me coming out of court, and they hear little snippets of my case. They catch me coming out of court. When I tell them, dude, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to pay this. It's gonna be about this much money. I see dejected faces because those are working guys. These are guys not making what I'm making. You know what I mean? And they were working guys. They want to be a part of their kid's life. And they say, I got to pay all of this money. I got to do all of this. I got to get this attorney. And then even the cheapest attorney is going to be around $4 grand
Hey,
just for a retainer.
hey, question.
Easy.
Infinity Hines said, does this apply to open child support case or before child support case is made? The due process is he claim.
Any child support case, before they can actually issue an order that requires you to pay any kind of fee or anything like that, think of it like this: taxation without representation, right?
Yep.
Anytime they have to make you pay anything, the state has the burden of proof to prove why that payment is needed and why they should be allowed to take it. If they don't meet that burden of proof, they're violating your due process rights. Yes, you have an action. Yes, as soon as child support is started and initiated, your due process rights automatically kick in. They won't tell you that. They'll try to tell you you have no due process rights, but they're lying through their fucking teeth. The Supreme Court has said you have due process when it comes to family law and child support, seeing as child support is part of family law.
Hey, Daniel,
You
let me
have
ask you a question. Daniel. So I have stepkids that live out of California. We're out of Texas. So when we went through this shit, we paid $7 grand for our lawyer to set up this shit. Because once me and him got married, baby mama Terrace didn't like that idea. You're never seeing the kids again. They're not her mom. They'll never be her mom. I don't give a shit, whatever. So the kids had a mediator. So the mediator came out and talked to the kids, and it was founded in that mediating report that the mom had actually coached the kids to accuse me and my husband of beating them and starving them over a Christmas visitation. So after that, we had to go back to court, and the judge literally locked them into California. So they can't come back and see us in Texas. So now we have to go back. So we go every 3 months to California, stay a week. We spend 3 G's every week that we're there.
You don't let it happen. They cannot tell you you cannot take your kids out of state if you live out of state. They can tell you that when your kids get to you, you can't take them out of the state you live in. They can order that because then it could be attempted kidnapping or whatever else. Although those rules and laws when it comes to that are iffy and finicky at times, depending on the circumstances. But they can't tell you you're not allowed to have your kids at your place of residence, even if it's out of state, without cause. Cause is vital. They have to have cause. Cause relates to burden of proof. The burden of proof is not on you. It's on the opposing party and the state as to why it's going to be harmful. Without the upholding of your due process rights, it is a violation of your civil rights. and you have a legal action you can pursue. Period.
Yeah, because this judge mainly went on what the mediator wrote in her report. And when my husband was just like, I didn't agree to any of this, the judge was like, well, do you want to take the mediator to court? Because this is what we're
He should have said yes. He should have said yes. He should have straight said, I demand a mediator take the fucking stand right now. I want opposing counsel to take the stand. I want the ex-wife to take the stand. I want the mediator to take the stand. Just like, do you know you can actually make a prosecuting attorney get on the stand as a witness? Most people don't know that, but yes, you really can. You can make a judge who's recused themselves, you can make them come back and get on the witness stand as well and question them. They don't have the authority that they claim they do. Look at it this way. Who does the Constitution protect? What's the first 3 words of the Declaration of Independence?
We the people.
We the people.
We the people. We the people hold all the power. They don't hold any fucking power except the power and authority we allow them. That's the catch. They try to abuse that, and everybody's going to, if you give somebody an inch, a lot of people are going to try and take that mile.
So apparently in California, it's a fucking liberal state. So, you know, whatever. That's a whole nother story in itself.
It doesn't matter if it's liberal, if it's blue, red. It can be a fucking orange state for all I give a fuck. It don't matter. All your due process rights still apply. Due process of law still applies. Burden of proof still applies. It all still applies. I don't give a fuck what kind of state it is. It all still applies, regardless if they like it or not. Fuck them. They can't take a joke. They can't violate.
We fly out to California July 4th. We'll be there till July 12th, and we're planning to file the modification so we can work to get them out of California, because they've been wanting to visit us again here in Texas. And there's times that
California can't prevent that. Without cause, they cannot stop that. Period. They have to have cause. And if the courts, or if the state is the one saying they can't leave the state, the burden of proof is not on the baby mama terrorist. It's on the state as to why it would be harmful to the child's interest to go to Texas to visit their father. Burden of proof is a motherfucker. And Infinity, you just made a comment about once a child is born, they belong to the state. No, that's what they want you to believe, that a child belongs to the state. No, a child, according to the United States Supreme Court, is considered property. Who owns the property of a child? The parents own that property, not the state, not the federal government. The parents alone own the rights to the property. Period.
Yo,
they'll tell you differently, but they're full of fucking shit. Don't believe it. Tell them to kiss your fucking ass and laugh at these morons and tell them y'all are too fucking stupid to know what you're talking about. Eat shit and die.
Right.
Straight up, suck a fucking dick. There's no law that says you can't have your First Amendment right upheld in court. You can tell a judge to fuck off and die in open court, and they can't punish you for it. It's retaliation, which is a fucking federal offense.
Right. Hey, check this out, y'all. We're gonna be on for another 10 minutes, and I'm gonna jump off. We've been on here over 3 hours, which I'm glad. Which I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do more of this.
I missed it.
It's cool. I'm gonna be doing this like 2 or 3 times a week now. I'm gonna definitely get this shit. Want this shit to grow bigger and bigger, man. But we got Ray on here. What's going on with you, bro? Where you located?
How y'all doing, man? Thanks for having me. I'm Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
You where? Okay.
Yeah.
You right near Texas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right down the street.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what they say? If you ever want to find something to do in Oklahoma, go to Texas.
Hola from Texas.
Hey, so what's your situation, bro?
Well, I was in the situation for about 18 years.
Oh, you've been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah. See, my daughter, she just turned 19 this past January, so I'm pretty much free and clearing down with child support.
Congratulations.
The thing is my daughter, I haven't seen my daughter since 2012. You see what I mean? And before that, I hadn't seen her since 2006. Right. And was paying child support the whole time. So it was what her mother did was her mother took her and lived in different shelters because she had other kids. Okay, so it was one of the type of things where there was times I didn't even know where my daughter was. My daughter lived in Arlington, Fort Worth, Ardmore, Oklahoma, Shawnee, Oklahoma, and now lives in Kansas. You see, so the system is definitely corrupt. I'm pretty sure somebody on this forum has said that you have to pay a shitload of money to retain an attorney. and you have to turn around and go through all these hoops. I can testify to all that bullshit because, for one, see, I have full custody of my 13-year-old now. And in order to get that done, I had to pay about $6,000 over a period of 10 years.
How many years?
10.
God damn.
So you know, it's like I say, the system is definitely corrupt. Find the attorney, which is located here in Oklahoma City, and she helped me a great deal. You know, but to pay all that money just so I can have my full custody, that's crazy.
Right.
You see, that's unheard of. So I really sympathize for anyone that has to go through all this crap just to spend time with their kids. Because I done been through it. I done been back and forth to court with, you know, not just one of my kids, with all three of my children. See, so now my youngest son, he's 1. You know, me and his mom is married, so we don't have to appreciate it. But like I say, I mean, there's got to be something that can be done. Now, the way it was explained to me, and this was many years ago, was we pretty much have to kick down the doors at the state capitol, okay, and apply for so much different bullshit and get on the docket so this stuff can be recognized when everyone is pretty much gone, you see. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, after looking at my kids, like my daughter, for instance, not being able to have a father in her life, I can see the difference.
It's a big difference.
Oh, there's a big difference. You see,
big difference.
You see the difference between me having my 13-year-old son, now I'm teaching him and raising him, versus she wasn't in the picture. So it was one of those type of things where I kind of sympathize for her because she doesn't know a bunch of life necessities the way she's supposed to know. So yeah, like I said, man, I mean, we can definitely do something. Yeah, we can definitely do something, you know, work together and come up with something to help other people, because that's what needs to happen right about now.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. I appreciate you, man. I got people on the page who don't even have kids. I got people that's on here that actually got men that got full custody, equal custody, but everybody know that this system is fraud and everybody dealt with a baby mama terrorist. So
right.
I appreciate everybody come on here, man, because it's a real situation that's been going on for many, many years, and it's like an organized crime they don't want to talk about, like it don't exist. And I want
it's illegal. It's illegal. Right. It's a legal crime.
It's definitely illegal crime, and that's
legal extortion.
It's right, and when it's all said and done, when it comes to alienation, the gender bias, and everything else, child support is the core of the situation. Because if we want child support, a lot of these baby mama children wouldn't even run a court if they didn't have their hand, their helping hand. That's why it's fuck child support, because you got to get rid of everything else. Once you get rid of that or change that, everything else will go away.
Yeah,
let's go away.
It's a domino effect. You got to start with one, and it'll knock everything else down.
Right.
Y'all, the power is with the people, and knowledge is everything. If
y'all want to know one way to make
you gotta read, you gotta learn, you've got to study. You know, there's libraries. You pull these books out. This is how I've gotten some of my paperwork done in state of California without attorneys, and I've used fee waivers. Fee waivers knock out any filing fee possible, and they go on income. So these guys are saying
I have to. You don't have
that
always file the fee waiver.
Use these filing fees. Moms, use these filing waiver fees. Get that shit down to zero. We don't need to be filing and paying to get filed and shit like that.
What do you have to do?
Anything you file with the courts.
The worst thing.
Anything you file with the
right.
Go ahead, Ms. Palmer.
You would know.
And there's a lot of people that don't know about those fee waivers. There's a lot of people that don't know about those fee waivers because they keep them.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know about that.
You didn't know about that?
I didn't know about fee waivers.
I didn't know either. I had somebody.
It goes on your income. It goes on your household. And it will tell you if you make under this amount, then you are eligible to get any fee waiver. Just zero.
You know
nothing. You're not gonna pay nothing.
I had a woman at the courthouse tell me about it. I ain't know nothing about it, and I've been using it, and actually, way. So good.
Well, in the state of California, That's basically all these baby mama terrorists do when they go into the state of California. You can file anything against anybody, tell them that you are minimum wage, you just make this and make that. The state of California doesn't check shit. They're not checking your income. They're not checking your tax returns, your pays. You file the paperwork, they check it off. Okay, here's your court date.
Right, because most people just compare.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
here's a tip for anybody watching. Anytime you file a single fucking thing with any courthouse, I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't care if it's a penny. Is all you have to pay. File the fucking fee waivers every damn time. The reason you file the fee waivers every damn time is because then when it comes time for child support, you're desolate. How can they make somebody who's desolate pay anything? You don't have it to pay. Now, as far as attorneys, because Mr. Ray was saying that they're expensive as fuck. We all know this. Y'all want to know how, and they don't do shit for you, but fuck you over. You want to know how to make the attorneys start representing fathers to the best of their ability and actually upholding a father's rights? You want to know how to make them start doing that? Stop fucking paying them. Don't give them your fucking money. Do it yourself. An attorney is only going to fuck you over. You do not need an attorney for any kind of legal action. You have the ability to be pro se for any fucking thing.
Okay, brother asking about the fee waiver. Whenever you want to go to court, or if somebody take you to court, when you go up there, tell them you want to file a fee waiver. That's it. And they'll tell you what to do from there. That's all you got to do. Let them know you want to do.
Even if you're being served and you're the respondent and you need to respond, you file a fee waiver automatically. You tell them, I want to file a fee waiver. You go ahead and print me that out. I'll sign it for you.
Hey,
You can be on
question.
your way.
I don't know if anybody else has dealt with this. Have any of you guys dealt with maintenance fees for child support? Is there a way to waive those fees?
Maintenance fees, I think they're only deducted once a year, and they're like $20.
Like me in Illinois, I get 2 maintenance fees. One for like a McHenry County for $60, and then there's another one for Cook County, which is I think like $35.
So those are 2 different cases that you're speaking of?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to get both of those cases combined in the county that you live in.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, can I do that? Because everything
you need to request those 2 counties to combine it into one county in the resident county that you live in. And you can do that.
Really? Okay, so then
or instead of doing that, you can wait till I email you this document, this demand to dismiss, and then go that route first.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Hey, Sean.
You ain't gotta fucking worry about it no more.
Hey, Sean, you see how they try to fuck you, man?
What happened, boss?
See how they try to fuck you?
Bro, anywhere they can, they fuck me, bro. They've been doing it for 17 years. I'm barely just trying to see the light.
They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
They don't care. They don't give a fuck at all.
They don't give a fuck, bro. You know, hey, but
they count on that fear and shit. That's what they bank on, is your fear and your willingness to not give up.
Knowledge is power. Your voice is
Well,
power.
I want to tell them how I handle those fees.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
This is how I handle the fees, and when I was talking to a lawyer and all of that. So what I do, I make them bastards take it out of my state taxes. That's what I do.
You could do that.
Yeah. I just make them take it out of my state tax. Whenever I get that fee and all, I say fuck them. I put it in the trash and make them take it out of my state tax.
Now it's not that you're making them. If you refuse to pay, they will just take it out of your state taxes. Is what he's getting at.
Take it out of the state
taxes.
You see, that's kind of, and that brings me to my next thing. Because just this past year for Cook County, I got a bill of $140 stating that I missed 2 years in a row. And
Did you ask them to prove it? Did you ask them to prove it?
I asked them to prove it because I said, you never sent me a letter. Oh, yeah, we did. I said, okay, so resend me that letter or email me that letter showing that you did send it. And the person was like, sir, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We can't send any form of type of payments like that or any form of acknowledgement like that.
Bullshit. It's your own case. They have to give you information about your own case. They cannot keep information about your case from you. It is your name on the document. It is your information. By law, they cannot keep it from you. And if they try, Freedom of Information Act request, they have to give you the document. If they can't prove, if the burden of proof is on the state that they sent you that payment or they sent you that notice and you refuse to pay, they need to prove you received that notice.
Yep.
and everything else. If they can't prove beyond any doubt that you received that notice, they actually themselves willingly forfeit said funds. It's all
There's
kind of-
always there's always a certain amount of days that they have to respond to your request, and you need to always be in somebody's ass. If someone tells you we can't do this, no, well, let me speak to who can, because apparently you're a dipshit and you don't know what you're doing.
And they did. As a matter of fact, Nikki, now that you bring that up, I did ask, can I speak to your person that's above you? Tell me why this person hung up on me.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to answer you because they know they're fucked. That's why they hang up on you. You know what you do next time? If I'm not mistaken, Illinois is a one-party consent state. Am I right?
I'm not sure. Is
What?
Illinois a one-party consent?
One-party
Audio
consent
recordings.
state.
Audio recordings. One-party consent.
Yeah, it is.
Illinois is? Okay. You know what you do, Sean? Tomorrow, call them motherfuckers back about it. Ask them about it. Make sure you have a handheld audio recorder. Put your shit on speakerphone. Ask them about all this shit then while you're recording. Let them hang up on you or refuse to give you the information then. From there is what you do. File the documents with the court. Get it back in court. Take your audio recording into court. Your Honor, here's them agreeingly forfeiting any funds from me from this point forward through breach of contract. Bam. Problem solved. You have proof of that they're breaching. You have proof of their breach of contract.
Okay.
Breach of contract terminates the contract automatically.
It's time consuming. It's time consuming, but you want to quit getting raped, right? You want to be quit getting fucked over. It's time consuming, but you gotta do it.
It's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take time, and it can take literally
And
as
bro,
bad as it's
and
gonna
bro,
sound. It can take
And
years.
you know what, bro? And as long as you living, you got plenty of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, it can take years, but in the end,
Yeah.
it's only going to serve to benefit you, because then all the money they illegally and fraudulently took from you, you will get back.
Yeah, or you
I
can
think
just
it's
pay
kind of
them like
difficult.
$10 a month or something like that. You know, just
Yeah.
pay them like that. Pay them real small amounts.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of dads that just
Because
that just kind of kneel down because y'all don't want to do some work. Like,
And
y'all
that's
gotta
it.
work.
Well, with me, I don't mind.
do that. I just don't give a fuck. I just don't.
I don't mind doing the work.
Right.
It's where to begin. It's such a huge
Momentous
entity.
task.
Every court has a law library. You go into the law library. You look up the counties.
You on the right page.
Health self. I think they have like self-help in most of the county in courts.
Oh,
you
they
look
do.
up the website.
I don't know where you
No?
are, Nikki, but in Cook County in Chicago they do, but it is so fucking buried to where it's just hard to find.
That's why, because they don't want
It's
people to know the
buried.
rules.
And the reason why they don't, and the reason why they do that is because they don't want lay people going in doing this stuff. They don't want it.
Right.
They
So
don't.
plus
they
the
don't
problem
want it.
the problem is if you go into, say, Cook County law library and start looking up cases, most of the cases that are going to be in that library are going to be state cases.
Yes.
State. That's it.
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
Fuck state laws. Fuck state case law. Fuck them all. Federal is higher. It holds more legal authority. The Supreme Court has the ultimate authority
you have
over
to cite-
every
cite,
fucking court in
cite
this
federal
country.
laws over, if you citing federal laws
Fuck the
over
state courts. Fuck
you know,
the
in
state
your
laws.
case, if you're correctly using citations, trust me when I say they have to. There's nothing they have to go by it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have to go
Fuck
by
the
it.
states.
Yeah.
They have
Google,
to go by
look,
it.
Sean, my man,
Yeah.
look, Google Scholar, fucking state law library. Google Scholar's your best friend. Go to Google Scholar. Look up Supreme Court, appellate court, and district court cases related to parental rights. From there, do your damn homework. Get to work. From that point, after you do your homework and after you do your work and after you pull off all this case law, get the fucking documents filed with the courts. Start that process. Get your shit back that you deserve and that should be yours any damn way.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
I had to do that same
Fuck the
thing
state
too.
law library.
And even though I had attorneys, man, I had to instruct attorneys what to do. I had to make them do it. These are attorneys that I paid for. I had to tell them to do
Now, what the hell you paying them for if you got to do their work for them?
Yeah,
Well,
we're
number
out
one, I
$8
mean-
grand on attorneys. We're out $8
I
grand.
spent a lot on
We had to
attorneys.
sell
Like I say,
bikes. We had to sell motorcycles.
$27,500.
It was bullshit.
It is hard because it's time consuming. you don't really have the time to do all of that. That's another reason why they set it up the way that they do. You don't have the time to do all of that and provide for a life for yourself. You just
correct.
Can't. You just
That's
can't.
why you got to sacrifice
So
sleep.
you have to have an attorney. You have to have somebody who got paralegals and all of that type of stuff that's going to do some footwork for you, and you can do your own footwork, and you can say, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do this, especially when you find it out.
Yeah.
So there's another thing, gentlemen. There's another thing called let me see if I can find it. So we were able to get unbundled legal services. Okay. You can go to your state and you can find a lawyer that will literally give you payment options. They will let you put a small down and pay out the process. But it's not all great. I know there's people that said, oh no, this is shitty. I've got a shitty lawyer. I dealt with one out of state. I'm in Texas. I hired one in California. The guy did the guy did his job. He did it. He got some shit set up for us.
Don't give
But for guys that are
what
so
I do as
scared.
well, also what I do at this point, this benefits me. Like I said, I've had several attorneys. At this point, see, right now, I do a lot of my own research, and I also will pay for consultations for attorneys, because I'm at a point now to where, you know, my ex-wife, she can't do certain things. She can't go take my kid out of the state and all that type of stuff. I have ironclad court orders and all that type of stuff. So, you know, my visitation is there. She can't take it. It ain't no every other weekend shit. No, it's a whole lot more. Now, whenever she does something, I can do the legwork, or I can pay an attorney to do the legwork, and they'll be willing to do that. And because they already know where I'm at in my case. A guy like yourself, Sean, man, it's gonna be daunting because you're at the beginning stages of this shit.
Yeah. I know,
So-
but like I said, and like what Daniel was saying, I'm just gonna have to sit there and take the time and
Get to
really
work.
do
Yeah,
do
you
my
got
due
to do the work, bro.
diligence to and find out. I guess in some sense the cracks within the system, so I don't get screwed.
Yeah,
Look,
you're gonna
what if
have
I
to.
could?
You're gonna have to do it because all of her rights, they automatically kick in. She has no end of people coming in and say, hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
Exactly,
But
but
you
for me, I
don't
nothing.
have nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody that's gonna come and tell you what your rights are.
Yeah.
They're
Now
not
look,
gonna do it. It's a fucked up thing. It's a fucked up deal, but it is what it is.
look. Here's the way I
Now,
say.
if
Here's the way I put
she's
that.
on state aid, is she on state aid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she is. Yeah, she's on.
she's getting free attorneys. She's getting counsel. She's getting all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
she's
my
getting all
ex-wife
the
did
bells
the
and
same
whistles.
shit. I gotta pay for my counsel. She doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the way. It's just the way it is. So you have to outwork her lawyer. You got to outwork them.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is a shitty deal, but you got to outwork them for every lap that she runs. You got to run 5 or 6.
Yeah.
It ain't even really that you gotta outwork them. You just gotta be able to outplay them. Keep in mind, this is a
It's
game.
chess.
It's
It's a game of chess.
You
Yeah.
have to be able to outplay them. You need to be 2 steps ahead or more at every turn. Now, one way you can go about it, you don't have to have, like in my particular case, I'm gonna have about 200 pieces of case law I'm gonna be citing in my case because I'm pursuing a bunch of civil rights violations on a lawsuit. So I need it all on the record and shit. So I have an extremely excessive amount of case law for mine. Man, get you about 10 different pieces of Supreme Court case law. That's all you fucking need, because every one of those has more authority legally than the state courts. You don't need a bunch. You only need a little bit of federal case law. You don't need an attorney. Do it yourself. Yeah, it's going to take time to educate yourself. It's not going to be an overnight thing. You're going to spend months educating yourself. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to not have a life because you're going to be learning. But if you want results, that's your only fucking option. An attorney, like Perfect Black said, he had to tell his attorney this shit. His attorney wasn't telling him. Why the fuck pay somebody that you have to fucking teach their job?
Exactly.
I don't trust attorneys. In Mason County in Washington in 2015, whenever I had custody going up there, the attorney I was using, that bitch was giving over $7,000 of my money. She fucking fled on my case. Didn't even tell me she was bailing. Quit fucking working on my case. It was entered a default judgment because of that shit. Bitch stole over $7,000 from me. Guess what? She doesn't have a law license anymore, hasn't in 5 years, and cannot get it back ever.
Damn.
Tell me you can't fucking get these motherfuckers. Bullshit. You can hit every fucking one of them bastards up. You just got to do the damn legwork.
Yeah.
You got to educate yourself. You got to put in the time, and you got to quit cowering down to these motherfuckers when they try to make you feel like they're going to fucking punish you for it. They can't do fucking shit. Fuck them all. You have rights. Assert them. Demand that they be upheld. When they don't, sue the fuck out of these people for it. You don't need an attorney unless you have the money to afford one. And then, even then, you're going to do most of the damn work for the attorney anyway, so why fucking waste the money?
Exactly. That 7,000 you could use in resources.
If attorneys ain't working for you, man, you like I said, you want to know how to make attorneys start working for fathers' rights? Stop paying them motherfuckers. Do it all pro se. If every one of us fathers at the same time dump all our attorneys and go in pro se, what do you think these attorneys are going to do the very next fucking day? Call us up talking about, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Come, just let me get your money. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll fight for you. Then quit paying them. You'll make them fucking do the right thing. Quit giving them your fucking money. Quit kissing their ass. Quit fucking cowering down. Quit backing down from them. Fuck them all. Fuck them. If they can't take a joke, fuck them again. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. Period. You got to put on hard. You got to have ice in your veins. You got to look at these motherfuckers and tell them, fuck you and everything you stand for.
Keep them veins cold. That's exactly what it is about. Fuck these baby mama terror.
Don't be worrying about their family. Don't be worrying about their kids. Man, you got one priority.
They don't.
That's
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about me or my kids. Why the fuck should I give a shit about them?
To them, their thoughts about you and your kids. Fuck Sean and his kids. I don't give a fuck about them. They don't affect my life at all. So your attitude, Mr. Sean, needs to be fuck you, judge. Fuck your kids too. This is about
you know what they also say. You know what they also say? We get paid regardless.
Yep.
We don't give a fuck.
They get paid regardless of what they do.
And this bullshit that they say it's in the best interest of the children.
No, that's awful.
That's the best interest of their fucking bank account.
That's awful.
It's never. It's about money. It's about money. It's always going to be about money.
It's all about the money.
That's terminology to keep things open-ended against you.
Daniel, I'm going to inbox you. Get a little bit more information on what we need to do to modify this so we can get them out of state of California to get them here in Texas. I'm going to hit you up on your Facebook. You guys, fuck child support. I support you dads that want y'all's kids. And I support the moms that go through the struggle too. You know, it goes both ways. Like you said, oh girl, earlier, she was paying child support. She hasn't seen her kids. She's gotten back on her feet. There's no reason why she can't see her kiddos.
Right.
That's true.
She just has to do the work. She just has to do the work. And some people just get lazy in their ways and be like, okay, well, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. No,
do it today.
No more tomorrows. You do it today. No more tomorrow.
Do it now.
You do it right now.
Look at what Elijah just said, y'all. Look at what Elijah just said. Daniel is right. I paid $3,000 for a lawyer, and all he told me was he can't help me, but I can keep paying him if I can afford him. That's the thing. They don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah,
all
Elijah.
they want is your money. If you want them to change, if you really want change from these bastards, fucking
Stop paying.
that's your only option. Stop giving them your fucking money. File the lawsuits. Make these motherfuckers accountable. Bankrupt these fucking municipalities. Fuck them all.
Hey, bro, last question, brother one, because I'm gonna log off. He said, what if they freeze your bank account?
That's illegal. They can't. That's
I'm under what pretense are they freezing the bank account?
Yeah, like you gotta owe some money to freeze a bank account.
Even if it's only $1, what legal right and legal authority do they have to seize your bank account? Where is the burden of proof? What proof and evidence do they have against you that they can legally seize that? That's an unlawful seizure. That's a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights.
Fourth Amendment constitutional rights for there for a reason.
But you know, they'll try to do anything they can if they can get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they don't have to tell you your rights.
He probably got rearage and shit ain't paid, and they just did the shit. They full of shit. You know.
All right, guys, be blessed.
All right.
Okay,
As well. Take care.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. We've been on almost 4 hours. I'm looking to probably get back on here about either Friday or Saturday. But you know, I'm still gonna post on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as well. We're gonna keep this thing going, bro. Cause like I say, we have to change the laws in our mind. We got to stop following these baby mama terrorist whores and these and this unjust ass system. Fuck them, suck a dead man dick. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you guys. Take care. Be blessed.
Palmer, don't forget to email me, man. Don't forget to email me that doc I gotta get my hands on that.
Everything sent me forward to you, and I gotta separate it so I can post it on Facebook as well on the group page. And then you know I got your number anyway, so it's not a you gonna talk anyway. Sean, send me a friend request also.
All right, I got you, bro. You guys take care. Be blessed.
Yeah, have a good one.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Y'all
Take
be
care.
easy, and I'll talk to y'all later. All right.
All right.
All right. Peace. All right, y'all. Hey, we've been on here for 3 hours and 48 minutes. Time flies when you talking good logic, man, and talking with good people that's on the same agenda. Hey, Flyboy, appreciate y'all. If y'all can stay, share the video. Even though I'm logging off, share the video, share the page. Instagram, if y'all on Instagram, share. If you're on YouTube, share, subscribe. If y'all can support, go to fuckchildsupport.com. Got the t-shirts there, and also my Teespring as well. Donate, support the cause. Let's get this change and make this thing happen, man. And like I say, fuck these baby mama telling this unjust system. We're gonna call this bullshit out. We're gonna change the laws in our mind, and we're gonna definitely make this shit happen, man. So y'all, hey Mike, you always be on here too, man. One day you gotta come on here and do the live with us as well. It's always open. All right. Infinity, we got you. Well, I'm gonna cut this short, man. And y'all be safe and y'all be careful out there. And like I say, don't fall for these baby mama terrorists. Just keep your veins cold, man. And we gotta stand together as one, man. All right, y'all. I'm Mr. Palmer, and this conversation is over. Fuck child support. Peace.